Three Sissies and a Girl is a Plato and Rodan production. Episodes contain explicit language and may discuss subjects that are sensitive to some listeners. See the show notes for details. Three Sissies and a Girl starts now.
The other day, I'd stopped and got chicken sandwiches from Popeyes for the kids. Now, my daughter generally hates any kind of condiments. She eats dry bread, but she's gotten more into certain things, right? But she doesn't eat, there's things she takes off her sandwich. So when Julian was the one, they get to pick their food every other week. They get to pick food for like Sundays, one picks, and then the next one. So Julian wanted a couple of Popeyes chicken sandwiches, and he was like, this sucks. First I shouldn't like to eat a lot of fried stuff, but she was like, oh, fuck, chicken sandwich, fine. So she ordered one, and she ordered it just dry. The regular chicken breaded thing with just dry, no pickle, no nothing. Well, Julian ordered the normal, but they'd gotten two because they're kind of small. And so she starts eating one of the chicken sandwiches, not realizing, she gets about halfway through it, and she's like, what the fuck is this sauce? And is there a pickle in this thing? And then I was like, oh, you ate the wrong one, because it was like dry at the top, the front, so she thought the thing. But then she realized, like, holy shit, this is really good. So I was asking her, I was telling her, we get done. I was like, I'm bringing spit. I was like, it's your week. What do you want? She's like, hey, where do we get that spicy chicken sandwich from? Yeah. So she's been converted to someone who actually likes a little sauce. She's gotten better about sauce. Oh, yeah, she does love Cane's. She loves Cane's sauce.
Sauce, Chick-fil-A sauce. Those are the only sauces that I'm really like crazy.
Yeah.
And ranch is great.
What's that? I'd eat the ass end out of a dead horse with some ranch dressing. I mean,
Ranch is awesome.
I love ranch, man. But I figured you're good. We'll just sit here and shoot shit till you're done. Because this is your movie, so you got to introduce it.
Ranch with like chicken wing.
Oh man, I love ranch and chicken wings, bro. That's my fucking jam. That's my last meal.
That's my
last meal.
To like Hooters wings. They're way better.
Well, the Daytona wings are good. I give them the Daytona wings, but I don't know. I just
not Chili's wings after Sione brought those for the.
Oh, those were good too. I like a good naked wing. That's my thing. I don't like a breaded wing, which is why I like the Daytona wings, because they're not breaded. Don't like a breaded wing. Even when I was
people go there to get their breaded wing.
Yeah, they do.
That's what Hooters.
Even when I was peak fat boy 215, I didn't like breaded wings. Like, that was never my thing. Always like naked wings better. I just like the taste. Yeah. Breading takes away from the chicken it's a lot. And also the sauce soaks into the breading rather than being attached to the skin. So it's just a better experience, I think.
Yeah.
Like without.
Yeah, you're right. The
Daytonas are amazing. Those are really, really good.
Y'all speaking a different language.
So, well,
I don't eat chicken.
So, we forget. It kills you.
I'm a low chick.
That's why I can't travel with you.
That's true.
Your last meal, right?
No.
If you had one?
No. I'm not adding
he's saying, no, I think he's saying that would be your last meal.
100% would be my last meal. No matter what meal it is, if it's breakfast, it's still my last meal. So it doesn't matter.
So, Terry.
Yep.
Now, you and I are of an age.
Yes.
Where we've seen Blazing Saddles and grew up with us.
Yep. Within our
list. You picked this specifically because you knew it was going to be
a problem. Yeah, 100%.
It's funny because before I throw this,
That's problematic.
well, that's what.
Without a cause.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is the funny thing is like I'm gonna throw it to you for this intro, but the funny thing is that I've never viewed it outside of its more. Even though this movie is not. I was maybe like a year old. What is this? Is 74. Okay, I wasn't even born. So
I was less than it.
Yeah. So
I wasn't born when.
But I remember pieces of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've looked at it and searched for what the problems or whatever were. It was so uncomfortable in aspect that I had to actually go do some research to kind of, in some ways, inform me of how it should be perceived and what I think this is important to what the original filmmakers' intents were.
Yeah.
And I say all this as kind of almost a content warning to the listeners of, you have to understand that this particular episode is going to be littered with
Racial
and insensitivity and things like that. And when you discuss Blazing Saddles, that there are, you almost already know some of the things that are going to be discussed and some of the problems. And obviously we'll have a content warning in our notes section, but I just want to kind of put that out of, this particular film was chosen so that we could
discuss
the historical aspects of the film
and why it was made.
Yeah.
And exactly what it was supposed to touch on.
Yeah. Because I think that this, film probably, I don't know, maybe it might be, that I didn't see, but this is definitely one that needs to be one of those preserved type films.
Yeah.
Historical kind of reasons or whatever. But anyway, why don't you introduce this film? And
Goldberg would agree with you.
Yeah. So this was my pick. Obviously, we talked about this, that I picked it so we could talk about it. It is one of the movies that is the most sensitive as far as content, racial divide, but it touches on everything that in a funny way. Yeah.
All the isms, it's true.
All the isms
They do that
between everything. And it's littered with all of it. And it's to make fun, but also bring awareness. Like I said, comedy a lot of time shines a light on things that normally aren't touched on, because it's easier to swallow a pill that tastes sweet than it is to taste one that's bitter.
Yeah.
So that's
true.
why comedy is used for that. This is Blazing Saddles. It's a Western comedy. 1974 was when it was released, February the 7th, 1974. It's an hour and 33 minutes long. It's Mel Brooks directed it. It is Gene Wilder, Cleavon Little, Madeline Kahn. Oh, she did a little something for me back then. I looked there and went, damn. Harvey Korman, Slim Pickens, fucking dude, that was so funny. He was so funny. Mongo, Alex Karras. It had some up and comings. It had some ones that were already there. It had
fucking Higgins as Howard Johnson.
Listening to him do that, then I went, that's fucking Higgins off Magnum.
Well, here's the funny. I was telling them,
and he's like, yeah.
I told them right before you got here that he's from Denison, Texas.
Okay.
And he played such a convincing British butler for Magnum PI on TV that fans from the UK would send him fan mail telling him he was a credit to the Empire.
Wow.
They thought he was British.
I did too. Oh, I did too. When I watched him on, that's what I thought I'd never seen his past work, so I didn't know anything about it.
And of course, I didn't remember him from Blazing. It goes like,
no, I didn't either.
Another one of those films
that you watched, but didn't really watch.
And went, I don't think I've ever sat down and watched, because what I don't remember is the scene at the end with the film stuff. When
they go off and then they get into the car and drive off into the sunset. Some of the stuff I missed too.
Some of these things I go, I don't think I've ever seen the end of this film. I think I've seen it all the way up to a certain point.
It did that with the film. It's almost like Monty Python. They took some stuff from Monty Python, because Monty Python's Holy Grail, where they run in and they got all the extras and the people of real life, people that mixed in with at a current that time. So it's kind of, Mel Brooks used a lot of it. He used a lot. He used Looney Tunes. He used a lot of things back.
There's a ton of references.
But there's a lot of, and then this is a satirical take on westerns. Crafty railroad worker Bart Cleavon Little becomes the first black sheriff of Rock Ridge, a frontier town about to be destroyed in order to make a way for a new railroad. Initially, the people of Rock Ridge harbor a racial bias toward their new leader. However, they warm up to him after realizing that Bart and his perpetually drunk gunfighter friend Gene Wilder, the Waco Kid, are the only defense against a wave of thugs sent to rid the town of its population. The hangman and all, everything was just...
Well, listen, they slap you in the face
immediately.
You pay attention about 5 seconds into this movie. That was the first note I made was... They slap you right in the face.
Started out the gate.
They're like, wake up, motherfuckers, because we're here to fucking school you.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite was at the beginning where he comes in, the Cowboys, and they're all right up, and they're like, how about giving us a spiritual and all this stuff? So they start singing like a barbershop quartet. They're like, no. So then he gets the white people to do all the spirituals while they're back there going, I don't know that one. Just laugh. It was such a turn. Like I said, it was like,
they're singing.
it was like he Tom Sawyer to get him to work for him. I mean, I was like,
I made the note that it was a minstrel show in reverse.
yeah.
That they actually turned the tables and
turn the audience.
So the other part about it that we should discuss really right off
go ahead.
Bad about this thing is that so Mel Brooks, when he originally got the script and he really liked it, but he said to his producing partner, like, we have to have as an email comes through, we have to have black voice. We can't write for black voices. And this is a story that needs to be told. It's important. We can do this, anyway, but we have it. So he went to Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was originally supposed to be Bart, but the studio wouldn't hire him. But what he did was he wrote every single piece of dialogue for Cleavon Little's character because it was originally supposed to be him. And you can actually hear Richard Pryor's voice. If you know Richard Pryor, you can hear Richard Pryor's voice.
Some of the delivery.
And some of the stuff with Cleavon. So I think that's important to note from where we talk about problems and things that we run into this problem, as Hannah mentioned this before, we run into this problem when we do these satires because you have to balance two things. You have to balance what is meant to be satire and where they miss the mark. Mm-hmm. They certainly missed the mark in a couple of places, and we'll talk about it, of things they could have done a little bit differently or framed a little bit differently and done differently to be less problematic, even in context of like what we're talking about. But it's important to know that when we talk about this film and we're talking about problems, is we're not really addressing the things that are supposed to be they are the things that are supposed to be problematic. Yeah. Famously Mel Brooks said to Richard Pryor, like, we can't say the N-word, and Richard Pryor said, no. You can't say the N-word, but the bad guys should. Yeah. Because bad guys say the N-word. Yeah. That's what makes them bad guys. Well, here's the interesting part about that. Even though the townsfolk in the beginning are the protagonists, there's actually you actually have two dueling sets of antagonists in this film. You have the townspeople, and then you have the outlaws, because the townspeople are very antagonistic.
Yeah, but they're redeemable.
Yes, they do.
So to a degree, but they are more redeemable than the bad guys.
Yeah.
So the townspeople will, give an inch here, there, kind of just.
But it's still like meant to be kept under wraps, because even if you look at the scene where the old woman, had set up yours slur
N-word,
when she gives him the pie, she even says, "Let's just not tell anybody about it."
Right.
That's how about talk to you.
Yeah.
We keep this between ourselves, right?
Yeah. I mean, so it's meant to be kept under wraps, but I think, when you take it into the considerations off screen too, like you talk about Mel Brooks was uncomfortable with the guy who was playing Lyle, Burton Gilliam, I think is how you pronounce that name. He was having a really difficult time saying it to Cleavon Little because he really liked Cleavon Little. Yeah. He was having a hard time saying it in general, but he was especially having a hard time saying it to Cleavon Little, to the point where after several takes, Little actually took Gilliam aside and told him, "Look, it's okay. These aren't your words.
Yeah,
like, it's okay." And Little jokingly added, "If I thought you would say these words to me in any other situation, we'd go to Fist City. But this is all in fun. Don't worry about it." So I mean, I think it's important that, like, not only does this movie shine a light, but it's all these actors like actually took the meaning of it to heart.
Yeah,
like they embodied the satire of this, and they took it to heart.
That really, the only way you can get through a lot of it is just because, and like I said, I did a short film movie, whatever it was, you remember?
Yeah.
And they gave us just start saying slurs, racial slurs. As soon as you want them coming out of the house, just start saying it. Even me growing up back then and being around it, and I have,
it makes you more uncomfortable, I think. Actually.
It 100% does. And I don't know, I'm not going, but it was whenever they're like, "Yeah, no, go ahead."
You should mention that the group you're working with were black filmmakers.
Oh, all black. The writer of the screenplay and book was African American. The whole crew, the director, African American, and a lot of the actors were. And it was about 3 or 4 of us who played the antagonist. The trying to get it was a true story, and it's written in this area about what they call it, bloody something. I don't remember. Not the name of the thing, but it was during the time of.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so it was like a lot of African Americans got killed at the time.
It was it was after Nat Turner's rebellion.
That's it.
And
That's it.
And
I couldn't remember.
they started because I did Roots, and it was right after the same thing, and they started just lynching.
Yes, but it was called a thing, bloody something. I can't remember the name.
Yeah,
it was during the time they gave a name to it, and so we did that, but it was just so uncomfortable. I don't want to say. I never want to say it to hurt anybody. Yeah. I don't want to say it to anybody I pick at you, about stuff, but I would never say anything and just be hateful towards you about anything.
It's intent.
Yeah,
we mess with being Italian. It's intent.
It's we do it when it's like picking at your brother. Whatever. But
I don't. But also, there's a little bit difference even of fucking with a white dude. I would.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I have black friends.
Never. No. I mean, I've joked. I have black friends that I don't. But I'm me, so I'm going to say stuff, and I say whatever, and they know it. Even one of my best friends did one night and told me to tell a joke that was off color to counter another joke. I had to take that one. Yeah. But anyway, so even when we did that, it was so uncomfortable. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how you ever do it. Well,
you get the permission from.
You got to get the permission.
It's not. Yeah.
I still don't think I'd be able to.
It's hard. You have to get the understanding between both of you, where it's going, why it's going there, and if it benefits the story. It's not. Yeah. Just doing it, blatantly doing it. I would draw a hard line at that just to be doing it.
I had one, and this was not like independent. This was like a television show that was on a major network, and they had my character saying it, and I went, there's no reason for him to say it. Like it added nothing to the scene. It took nothing away. And I went to Churcher, who was also the writer and showrunner, and I said, listen, man, if you want me to do it, I'm going to do it.
I'm under contract. I have to do it.
But I'm having a problem with this because I just, what's the point?
Exactly.
It feels like he's throwing it in there. Just
the shock
you
value.
already know the guy's an asshole. Like we already know this guy's an asshole. We don't need him to have a racial slur to make him more of an asshole. Yeah. Like, and there's no reason for it. And he goes, I agree with you. You know what? Just take it out. Because it was a throwaway line. It was like a line. And then the line after was the slur. Yeah. And so took it out because there was no reason. But then in every Civil War drama I've ever done, obviously, and I always play the bad guys, that's in there. And, it's very uncomfortable. And I've done it with the funniest was with a black director one time, and I do the scene, and I hear him holler at me from Billy, hey, Garrett. And I was like, yes, sir. He's like, I don't know about you. That word sure rolls off your tongue pretty easy. And I just froze.
Asshole fucker.
I was like, holy shit, did I really say it?
Yeah.
Too authentically, like,
yeah.
And then you just hear him, the fucking entire black group
laughing.
Just start fucking laughing. He's, I'm fucking with you, man. Great job. Do it again.
Like, no, one take, we're done. I'm done. I'm never doing it again.
Was it the one?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, but the other one was a scene with Mahershala Ali, and it was so intense and just so
love it.
It was so hard that at the end of it, we hugged, and he was the same way of like, look, man, this isn't us. This is like these two characters, and we're doing this. Or it was the 4 of us in the thing. He's like, this is just us. It's not us. I do what you got to do. Get in my. He really wanted it because he wanted the. And you could
authenticity.
And you could see the rage. Yeah. He's fucking one of the best actors I've ever worked with.
God.
Fucking amazing. You could see the rage and stuff in his face. So it's I get it where those guys are coming from.
Yeah, I get it. It's
before, after, during.
But it's just so
coming out. Like that's what the other thing I don't like about method is, because when you're doing these particularly brutal scenes, and I've done several, I've had scenes where I've been absolutely horrendous to my co-stars. And I don't want to
Carry that with-
in between those takes. I want to come out. I want to laugh. I want to joke. I'm the same way with the romantic scenes.
Yeah.
If we don't have anything going on, like I want to come out of that and joke around and
Tuck your heart on the way in, you know.
yeah, to break up the thing of like we don't need this, deal. And so you joke about like, like the first thing I said to him after the first date was I looked at him. He's fucking like 6'1".
Yeah.
It's like towers over me, and I was like, I really wouldn't say this to you because you would whoop that.
I mean, that's not the only reason, but yeah, that's a big reason.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
Well, they come out the gate in here. I mean, immediately, like you said, and the first word, and I don't know how to.
Wait, so you can say it's the gay slur or the?
No, it's the Asian slur.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was immediate. It
Yeah,
just
that's what I
went
said.
pink, and I went.
They hit you. Listen, they hit you with
Like in the
black,
first
they hit you with a
line.
black slur, Asian slur, and a gay slur within about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like it was bam, bam, bam.
I went, damn, and I forgot how many times they had used
Now,
the N-word.
Yeah.
I will say though that they did fall flat in some places when
Gay slur.
no, when Mel Brooks plays the indigenous, there's no rhyme or reason that he walked out in yellowface.
No, I said that. I made the same note. Mel Brooks in Yellowface. That was that, and that's where I say where you say they make the missteps.
Yeah.
And I think
Now I think it's funny that they did him as like he's speaking Yiddish
yeah,
because I mean even Mel Brooks made the point of like, well, we're both people that had our land stolen,
right.
which I think is actually really what was really funny to me though is the headband that he's wearing. It's meant to say kosher for Passover, but he intentionally flips the characters so it says kosher for Passover.
Careful.
I think it's really funny.
That is funny. And also, like I'm with you. Like he could have done that and just left off the makeup.
Oh,
like you could have just been. They could have been like.
It could have just been Mel Brooks, right?
Yeah,
now.
and then instead of calling them the Sioux, they could have called them the Jews, and it would have been like you could have kind of and you could have like actually fixed it with that.
Yeah,
and I think
it could have been a tribe of Jews instead of.
I watch movies with subtitles because I sometimes.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I have a tendency to like. You can't do it. I have a hard time.
I'm not watching without.
Okay.
I have to turn them off during stand-up specials because
Yeah, because
them on all the time. But when I watch stand-up, I have to turn them off so you don't you don't see the punchline before he delivers.
Yeah.
But I always watch. I think it would have been funny if they had changed it to Jews, but if they had spelled it the same way that Sue is spelled,
Yeah.
I think that would have been really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and then whenever they when they leave, he goes, "Geez, they're darker than us."
Yeah.
I was like, "Motherfucker." I mean, like you said, if they'd have kept it Jews, it would have been. I think it would have been more funny, to be honest.
I mean, they even make that point later on, which is like, we stole all this land and they call them Indians, which is, but that, I guess that would have been anachronistic for the time.
Yeah, because
Instead of
Indians.
indigenous, but they say, yikes, Terry. They say, we chased off all the Indians just to have a black sheriff. And I was like, okay. Well, and then the whole line of, but not the Irish. And they're like, wait.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, when they save the hand cart and leave the two, because they're replaceable.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're just equipment. But we saved that $400 hand cart.
Yeah.
Well, and then when they pull themselves out and they're like, all right.
Break's over.
Break's
No
over,
use
yeah.
getting a suntan. It ain't going to work anyway. I was like,
And
God damn. I missed a lot of that.
When the Israel worker passes out and he's like, dock his pay, he's taking a nap.
You're like, what? Yeah, the only thing now I get the use of the gay slur in the end because I understood what was going on there. I was uncomfortable with Slim Pickens using it in the instance that he used it. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
When he's talking about the Cowboys, when he wrote up.
Yeah, because that wasn't.
That's when they were singing the,
Yeah. So I had a problem with that one. I don't have a problem with it as much at the end because that was used in a context that you understood. Again, he really shines a light on it. And he's actually
He's hitting you over the head with it because
he's very pro LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny to me too. Sorry, were you?
No, I was just saying like he's very pro. He doesn't have those. Mel Brooks doesn't have. He doesn't have a what's the word? Jesus. He doesn't have Jesus because he's Jew.
Well, we have Jesus, but we just he's not a person.
He doesn't have a like not racist, but just Jesus.
And
How can I not think of a fucking simple word? This is really simple. I'm gonna feel.
I think she had a stroke.
I might have. You know, he doesn't have a. He's not.
People are screaming it at home.
So he's talking about
racist.
an anti-gay or whatever. He's not
He's not
homophobic.
homophobic.
That's
He's
it.
not racist. He's not.
He doesn't have any biases.
Yeah,
That's not it, but that's it.
No, but no, he's not. He's not biased. He doesn't have a prejudice. Thank you.
God, oh, that was an easy word. That was an easy one. You might want to get your sugar check.
He doesn't have a prejudice bone in his body. He has supported
He's championed all bunch of
all the causes, right? Like
He
he's
just makes Piers Morgan's comment so fucking stupid.
hilarious, right? Which we should throw that up on our socials.
Oh yeah, well, make that note right now.
We're talking about Piers Morgan said some stuff about woke lefties being pissed off.
So not being able to remake this movie now because the leftists would have like a field day with
Yeah,
it.
and then there's a great picture of the woke lefty filmmakers that made it wearing Black Lives Matter t-shirts. Mel Brooks has got a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. So yeah, this guy doesn't have a prejudice on his body. So it's definitely everything he does in the film doesn't come from a place of hate. And that's where we talk about intention. It comes from a place of education. Nothing comes from hate, and that's why I don't like the. I know he didn't mean anything by it, and it's just a thing. That's why I don't like the gay slur with Slim Pickens at the beginning, because it doesn't do anything to educate.
Yeah.
The way that the use of it at the end is used in an educational way, in a really funny way too.
Well,
I love the end. I love those.
where he comes back off stage with him.
All of them. Just the whole thing is so funny. I just love that so much.
You want to talk about method though? Slim Pickens went hella method for this. He slept outside of his RV and he cuddled his Winchester every night.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think maybe he might have had some issues when he made Strangelove or something. Maybe messed him up in the head a little bit.
Screw loose.
The Dutch grandma,
well, I was going to say,
I love anything. You could talk about Dutch stuff.
well, that, but you also saw where he went. He's making a point to where color is a color. Everybody sees color because give me two of the N words go, and they were like, "Are you two?" He's like, "Well, my mom was. You wanted two. My grandmother was Dutch, so they're going to color's color. It don't matter because people are stupid. That's what they see. To back to the drop of blood.
Yes,
Just one drop will be the whole thing. So he's hitting on all cylinders. Like he's going, fuck all of you. Look at that stupidness.
About half you racist motherfuckers out there would be fucked with the one drop rule.
Oh yeah,
DNA.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, he even calls them morons. He's like, he's like small-minded farm people.
Morons. And
that's why he's hitting you over the head with it, because he really doesn't trust the American audience to put two and two together.
No,
it's kind of like, hey,
but they don't get it because
it's like Chappelle when he did his show. He did his racist or take on it, and the people, mostly the white people, were going, "Yeah, he's right," and he's just being just facetious about it, just being jokingly like, "This is funny because this is true, but this is what because y'all are idiots." And people are like, "Yeah," and he was like, "People are taking it so fucking serious." So you don't trust the American people to make their own decision of what's funny and what's not, because they are ingrained with so much shit that they take it to heart. Yeah. And then it's like, that movie speaks to me.
Well, here's the
that stand up.
Here's a good way to think of it. Racists think that racism is funny, and they point to it and go, "See, racism is funny."
I do think it's funny.
And but not, you don't think racism's funny.
No, I don't think racism is funny.
So that's the difference. So the racists,
I think calling attention to it makes me funny.
Well, here's the thing. Racists think it's funny, but what's actually happening is we are laughing at racists. They're laughing at the racism, and we're laughing at them.
But they're taking it
in the no laugh at them.
Also, is like ha ha, but proves my point. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's taking it on to where, that's what he says is right. And
they don't get it.
It's a black guy saying it. So that means more.
Hannah just pointed like, that's exactly.
So they don't get it. They don't get it. So they go, and that's the way they take it. So it's kind of think they're proving their point through someone else who is of color, and that makes them more validated with their beliefs, which is the dumbest shit on the planet. Anyway.
And then they go to the medieval hangman in the garden.
That dude is fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. I laughed at that dude.
Yeah.
He's hanging men in wheelchair, horses, guys on horses. Oh,
The punt, when the dude punched a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, Mongo.
How did that? So you can actually
You see him pull the head.
You can actually see they don't do this anymore. They don't do it anymore because it's dangerous for the horse. It's dangerous for the rider. It's the ASPCA. Thank you. Won't allow that kind of stuff. But what they would actually do is there are horses that are trained to, you can pull them down by the rein and they'll flop out. They'll pull. And if you notice,
You see,
he's holding the horse down. You can see the horse trying to actually pull itself.
he's got his
up.
eyes up open.
Yeah, and the horse is trying to get up and he's pulling. So
You
that's
see
how
when
they
he
do it.
swings.
It's actually I think I meant to go look that one up. Did you run across anything about that? Because I feel like that was a controversial scene or it might have changed something of the way that they
I'm sure it was controversial, but what I was going to say is it actually has a basis in reality. So Mel Brooks, former Your Show of Shows and Caesar's Hour boss Sid Caesar, who was a physically imposing and somewhat violent man, reported in his 1982 autobiography, Where Have I Been, that while trail riding with his wife, her horse caused trouble and he punched it once between the eyes. And so the horse collapsed unconscious. And he notes that this event was Brooks' inspiration for Mongo versus the horse. There's a few scenes in this that are meant to be like the whole scene where Bart holds himself hostage. That was based on Mel Brooks' real life experience. He once went into a convenience store and stole a water pistol and a pack of gum. And when the store clerk tried to come after him, he used the water pistol that he had stolen to hold off the clerk.
Everybody back, or he gets it. Oh no! Stop, everybody! He's not playing that shit. I laughed.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Fucking time. He walked in.
I made the note where Mel Brooks was talking about when they were talking about the video, and he goes, "Too Jewish."
Oh man!
The other thing is that I saw too that I love about Mel Brooks. He is so in tune with his Jewish heritage. He's so in tune with the plight of the Jews that he always lampoons the Nazis. Every single fucking film and chance he gets, he fucks them. And absolutely. And I think it's such a great calling card of his to just fuck with Hitler and Nazis every chance he gets, because it's such a
stain.
Which is funny because that's the one issue he will not touch in a comedic sense.
Oh yeah,
He's come out and said, in referring to World War II, I personally never touched gas chambers or the death of children and Jews at the hands of Nazis. In no way is that at all usable or correct for comedy. It's just truly in bad taste. However, he says it's the only thing you would avoid. Everything else is okay.
Yeah, and that's true because he usually what he does is he usually lampoons Hitler and German soldiers being inept. Yeah, that's generally the way he likes to do it. And
they're part of the bad guy squad or whatever.
Right, and also exactly. And the other thing was too.
Your right hand.
The other thing he did with that was the shit. I forgot where was going to go. Germans, Hitler, inept,
Berg. Wait, I'm sorry. I thought we were connecting dots. I apologize.
I'm trying to connect dots in my brain right now. Anyway, too Jewish.
Madeline Kahn and her speech impediment. Oh my God, it's true.
They cut the subsequent line out of that. The next line that Cleavon Little actually said that got cut was, I hate to tell you this, man, but you're sucking on my arm.
That's fun. That would have been fucking fun. But it's still.
Mel Brooks had a little internal twinge where he didn't include that. So it was one of the only things that got cut.
That's still, that would have changed it.
Yeah, we're going to X-rated film.
Yeah, but she's a nigga. So, hey, look at 15 snitching trudels is my limit, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's so, and baby orgy again. Yeah. She pulls out the fucking 12-inch, 3-inch round sausage, right after that scene.
Yeah. No, baby.
Yeah.
I'll see you later, baby.
Fuck you. So good. Yeah. It's so funny. That's and it's coming when he's like, I want you to go seduce him.
Yeah.
And it's I really like this. This is actually really good.
Yeah. The thing is, talking about stereotypes, I'll take that one. I would take it all day. That's the best fucking stereotype you could have.
Well, and they even played to it too, because when he comes back and they're like, "I thought you were hung," he says, "I am."
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah. I had to look and see. Yeah. John Hillerman was Howard Johnson's name, and that's the dude. That's old.
Was there something to do with Higgins Wilder? Did he not want to do? There's something.
No. Oh, so no, this was the alcoholic. So they actually had contacted. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. So the production originally began with Gig Young, which is interesting because both Gig Young also has like a really tangential relationship to Rebel Without a Cause. But so it began with Gig Young, I'm sorry, as Jim the Waco Kid. But on the first day of shooting, the scene where the drunk Waco Kid hangs from the bunk upside down, Young revealed that he was really indeed drunk, and he had a really bad alcohol problem for years, and it wasn't a well-kept secret. Like, everybody knew that he had an alcohol problem. Mel Brooks was still like, well, I mean, he's playing an alcoholic, so he'll be to work, On the first day of shooting, we hung him upside down in the jail cell, and green stuff started spewing out of his mouth. Young's agent tried to defend him by explaining that he was recovering alcoholic, and Brooks responded that he wasn't actually recovering. Yeah. So then he shuts down the production for a day, and because he says, this guy's given me a lot. He's given me plenty. Brooks recalled to the first scene with Young. He's given me the old alky shake, and then it got serious because the shaking never stopped. The green stuff started spewing and he started screaming, and he said, that's the last time I'll ever cast anybody who's really that person. If you want an alcoholic, don't cast an alcoholic. And so he called Gene Wilder, and Gene Wilder and somebody who, I can't remember who, basically said, I heard him sigh over the phone. I know, Mel, I'm the Waco Kid. You need me, I'll be there. And this was on a Saturday because he shut down production for a day. He flew out on Sunday. He tried on the costume, he tried on the gun belt, he tried on the horse, and it all fit. By Monday, he was shooting the scene where he's hanging upside down next to Cleavon, and it all worked.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, because his character was, he was kind of
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, but he did, normally when he comes to something, Gene Wilder had a certain.
Well, he has that really tongue-in-cheek spark in
Yes.
his eye when he makes a joke.
And he did sort of, but it's still, he downplayed everything in this. So it didn't seem like it was more.
Yeah, but it's still very, you can tell that he's in on the joke.
Yeah, so I
Everybody's
didn't
in on the
know.
joke.
I couldn't remember if there was something to that or if there was
but
something else.
You know who else was considered for the role?
Clint Eastwood,
You're not far off. John Wayne.
John Wayne.
John Wayne was considered for this role. And
I don't think he could have pulled it all.
oh no, absolutely not. But he was self-aware enough, because there's no indication that he could have sold that joke,
Yeah, he's not. I think he takes himself too seriously from what it.
Well, and he even told Mel Brooks after he read the script, he said he loved it, every beat, every line, but it's too blue, and that it would disappoint his fans. But he said that he would be the first one in line to see it. And I was like, well, even he knows he's full of shit. Like that, he's self-aware enough to even he would be like, well, I can't really because my constituents would eat the shit out of me. It would have given a little bit of credence to the line, I've killed more people than Cecil B. DeMille.
Because of the movie.
Yeah.
And so many people were injured. I wonder how close that Babylon movie is to how many people died while making.
Oh,
Because they said Cecil B. DeMille,
that's how
and not only did he kill a lot of people in his movie, but they say in real life he bumped off a few. Some of them died on through stunts that didn't.
But yeah,
work out.
John Wayne.
Natural cause.
Stunts that didn't work out. I don't know if it's natural. I mean, I don't think a boulder falling on you is pretty
That's
natural.
natural, yeah. But he just wasn't willing to kind of skewer his own screen legacy. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe he was really self-aware in this. And then you read the Playboy article.
Yeah.
So 3 years before
That's all I really read.
Saddles
Look
came out, the articles.
Mm.
Yeah. So 3 years before Blazing Saddles came out, Wayne gave an interview to Playboy, and he said, quote, I believe in white supremacy until the blacks are educated to a point of responsibility, unquote.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I think too.
Shit like that makes me laugh.
So I think
the
I think that's kind of like almost a precursor to what we see today was like people feel a way, people say things, they feel a certain way internally, but they say things externally because it makes them money and they have a base of fans that they play to.
Yeah.
But behind.
Well, that's on here. I say shit that I don't even believe in.
Yeah.
But I just say it just because it contrasts you two.
Yeah.
And so it gives me something up against you guys, and it just does something different.
Understand. I mean, we
and I'm an idiot.
And maybe the audience knows, maybe they don't know.
Maybe
they don't understand is that we're playing character on this stuff of like there's a base.
And I hope they know, but
there's a base.
But you can't trust the American people to make their own decisions.
American people make their own decisions.
Not just you guys.
Real meta because
Not that you guys listen to us or don't.
And we're about to break down the fourth wall right
Yeah,
here.
we're totally breaking the fourth wall right now.
What? Hey,
You're not really getting the true real us things. I mean, you're getting pieces of it.
yeah, pieces here.
But you don't know you don't know how much of it is. And this is true of performance at all. If you think about,
It's true in real life.
we everybody masks to other people at certain extent.
Everyone's acting all the time.
You look at guys like Jimmy Fallon and those guys, and you see a character on TV, and I've met guys like that too, where they're a certain way like out, and then if you get to know them inside, they're a little more reserved and a little
Well, when they relax.
active, and they're more relaxed, and they don't have to be on all the time. And I think that's probably one of the things that used to tortures guys like Robin Williams, who feel like they have to be on all the time. It's exhausting to be on all the time. So it's nice to just.
I can't imagine being method.
Yeah.
And even James Dean said that he could never do another role like that because it took so much out of him.
It's exhausting to do that kind of shit. Like
You go to sleep with it, you wake up with it, and it's until everything's done. And then sometime longer after that, they say.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I can flip in and out.
Yeah,
Stuff like that because I don't think I could.
It does take me. Sometimes it'll take me a little bit to get out of but I mean, within 30 seconds to a minute, it might take me a little bit, but I might have to force myself.
Oh, if my tears to come, it takes me a minute. I have to walk away.
Yeah, because I've got, if I go there.
There's reason why it's coming.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
So I have to walk away for a minute.
Yeah. The stuff that I've always loved true satirical films like Airplane and Blazing Saddles, and we talked about Naked Gun really early on the podcast, if you can get past the ridiculousness and all of the
inappropriate
and anachronistic things they do and stuff like that, and like, so I really cracked up when he was like it's Headley. And he's like,
She's sued successfully over that, right?
No, is that why? But was it before or after when he said it's 1874, you can sue her. I didn't realize that she actually sued him.
She sued them, and I guess technically they settled out of court, but yeah, Hedy Lamar sued them over.
Wow.
So how do you, which is insane, because how do you sue over satire?
Well, she sued over the use of her name because it's her legacy. It's her property.
Yeah, but still,
I mean, all I'm saying.
If you could show,
she got away with it.
I guarantee you this was. Oh, you know why? I'll tell you how. Because Larry Flint hadn't been along yet. That's why. Because that's what changed that entire thing. Actually,
was that the Pamela Anderson thing?
It wasn't Pamela Anderson. Larry Flint won. So the whole thing that went to the Supreme Court about satire that made satire illegal was Larry Flint showed Jerry Falwell in a Campari ad, and he talked about having sex with his mother. Like he liked to have sex with his mother. He liked to drink Campari after having sex with his mother.
Yep.
And Jerry Falwell sued, and it went to the Supreme Court, and he lost. Jerry Falwell lost because it's like you prove that no reasonable.
Well, it was slander. It was
Jerry, everybody knows it's satire.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knew that was satire, but
that we're still having those arguments today with these Fox.
How can I would say you right now? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's 10 years.
It took 10 years. That's Larry Flint after the good.
That makes sense. If this was 74, it makes sense that she would have.
That she could have won.
Yeah, she won. Or that she won.
The farting scene was the best for me.
I want those fucking Gucci saddlebags.
That was the
first time it's been farts on screen. Thank you. I got to speak it right. I can't speak English. Yeah, I fucked it up. That wasn't Asian. It was just
gibberish.
So Yeah, that right there, though, because I've watched Westerns growing up all my life with my dad. My dad loves them. And all they do is sit around and eat beans all the time and cans of bean or whatever. So I'm like, and at one point in my life, I've said, these guys, man, that's a lot of beans. Because Dad would watch them all day, between Bonanza to everything. So when that comes up and they're all sitting around just farting, eating beans, I'm like, I bet that's 100% very close. Plus all the shit they drink and eat during the day. Beef jerky. I don't know. I'm just stereotyping cowboys. They may have quiche out there. I don't fucking know.
They probably like creme brulee.
They probably have MREs they take with them or something.
I was looking for, I thought, because I had made a note, I thought, maybe I read it and then didn't make the note, but that was the whole, I mean, that also the reason why they kind of chose the Western setting was because what we did, we talked about this a little bit when we were doing Rio Bravo, and we were talking about Westerns and kind of how they were this idealistic America and stuff, and that's the reason why they chose the setting and chose to put it in the place they did, because they wanted to basically unwhitewash Western history, because all of the real Westerns whitewash, right? It's all good guys and the bad guys are the indigenous people and all this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just very sanitized and it's very clean. Like, oh, all we're doing is the manifest destiny, going out west where we belong and just making peace with the land and all that. And that's not what happened. I mean, we went and stole people's land, kicked people off land, killed people to take their land, all that stuff. And so they were basically shining a light on that by using the Western as the framing device for the story. I thought, and they did really cool things too, to like lampoon things of like Count Basie when he's doing the thing, and you could see that moment of pride that Count Basie had to see the sheriff of this town, that it was a black man was a sheriff. The other one that cracked me up that was such a and it was so true, because it was like basically calling them out on the face for being hypocrites when the guy holds up the good book and says, hey, everybody, we should pay attention to the words that are in this book. Yeah. Because they supposedly do, right? And then
the Bible
says that everybody's equal and that they're, like, that you treat
your brother,
love your neighbor, all that this, and they go and shoot it. I loved that. I thought that was the best. I was like,
you're on your own.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, you're on your own. And it's like, just those things that he points out to go like, we should listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, even Jen Wilder said they're smashing racism in the face.
Yeah.
While you're laughing at it.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, and somebody, one of my sources from Entertainment Weekly, she said that's the purpose of art, to expose you to all aspects of human beings. And it really is. But one thing that I'll note too about this is that they never made, like, you very much get a sense of the relationship between Jim and Bart and like how close they are and stuff like that. They don't go into a ton of depth. I think I would have liked to see a little bit more of their relationship. But one thing that's very clear is that race is not an issue. They don't give a fuck. From the beat. The second that he's like, then we are awake, we are very confused. And from then on, it's like, it never gets mentioned again. It's just, okay, on we go.
And it was actually the first, because so up until this point, the only other
client ones? Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, the only other times that they showed black and white partnerships and things on screen was Sidney Poitier, because he was the only guy that he was gentle and soft, and white people didn't find him scary, right? And so
like Wayne Brady.
Yeah, no, really, truly, they didn't. He was he was very gentle or whatever. Yeah. He's the only one that was accepting in these black and white relationships, right? But everything he always did, race was the initial obstacle to the friendship becoming a friendship in the first place. Mm-hmm. This is the first film that they did where they had the interracial buddy comedy where race was not
between them two, no.
The issue.
And it's also one of
wasn't the obstacle.
No.
It's also one of the first films that really allows this black hero to take center stage.
Yeah.
we talk about context a lot, historical context, and you have to think like this was right after the civil rights movement. I almost said civil war. That's not right. Civil rights movement. And it was post-Vietnam War. I mean, America was ready for a change, and we kept getting these blaxploitation films in the vein of Shaft. But this was really one of the first films.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's poorly chosen name.
I go back to the stereotype. It just clicked in my head.
But then we get this like weird reversion back.
Or sucking my arm.
Then we get this weird reversion back to like Shawshank Redemption, where he's just kind of used as like a little exposition fairy to like help out the white guy.
Yeah.
But it is one of the first films where like they're like, no, we're gonna make Cleavon Little the star of this.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because he kind of falls off the face of the earth after this film.
I mean, other than a little bit here and there, I don't think there's much. Well, like when he said when the only other thing, like you talked about the race being an issue, it never was between those two. And now he would say stuff as far as like, they're like, yeah, I think I'm really coming around to them. They would, yeah, maybe you can shake their hands on the street in daylight in 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit like that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking funny. Because yes, but there's still going to be hate there just for some people. You know, it's still there. But yeah, you can, in 20 years, you probably could shake their hand.
So I had read where she was talking about the thing about the blaxploitation. I was reading a bunch of like different threads and stuff of people asking people of color and other black people, like, what did you think of the movie? Blah, blah.
And was this the Reddit thread?
Yeah. And she's probably got it. Well, good. I don't have to put that source there. One of the comments from one of the people were like, how do you feel? They're like, we fucking love it because a black guy shows up, faces racist, and becomes the hero, which is the plot of every 70s blaxploitation film, by the way, that we made. Like, so a lot of this was kind of inspiration too for even more of those style films where a black guy shows up, takes on racist, becomes a hero. Like, so now obviously there's some generational shifts and things about the way that people feel about the movie, and because they're not, I mean, even Matt, who's the youngest of us, him and I were discussing this when he first got there, and he was kind of like, this is the first time he saw it, he was kind of like,
he didn't really like it.
Yeah, he was like, because it made him so uncomfortable. He doesn't know what to think.
Did it really make you uncomfortable? Oh, you didn't say that. You just told me you just didn't.
It made me feel uncomfortable. I was, dang, but then I thought about it and I was like, well, it's the reason why they're calling out all of the.
Yeah, well, they're calling white corruption, bigotry, the Bible bigotry of the Bible Belt, all that. He's everything.
Like hypocrisy.
Oh, he's punching above his weight. I think he's going.
Definitely, he is not. He's definitely not.
He ain't pulling nothing.
No,
and that's what's so good about it.
Yeah, he ain't punching down.
No.
Borat. How like.
Yes, but Borat. Oh God damn. Borat.
Oh, he kept kicking me. I'm like, well, you keep trying to move away from it, but he keeps like kicking me. I'm like, dude, chill.
Yeah,
he can't get comfortable. You know, he's got neuropathy in his feet. He can't feel anything. But Borat, I'm not shitting on Borat. People love it. I get it. There's certain things. Borat didn't, to me, have the intelligence that Blazing Saddles did it of its time.
Right.
Of putting it out there on Front Street, or just because Borat is just, he's done a lot of shit. He pulls it. He's put on unsuspecting people, which is great when he did them 3 white kids and college kids and just fucked them up. That was great. But this wasn't a got you, surprise you thing like where it was. So it does, but doesn't to me.
This was strategically planned.
This was done to say, fuck all you. And I want to show everybody. I want them to think about it, laugh at it, great. But I want them, when it's said there later on when it comes up, because they're going, hear what that guy said, and repeat themselves, then it's still there and it's still rolling around.
Plus,
I get that.
I think the other part about it too is like when you talk about the intelligence of it is the way it's done is it's just done in a, you've seen satires and listen, Naked Gun is one of them that's not as smart. It's just very heavy handed over the head props. And
Naked Gun was.
It's not.
It was it slapstick or kind of? Yeah, it was.
So it's not
Three Stooges. I mean, it wasn't meant to be.
It's not clever.
It's not meant to make you laugh. Make you think.
Yeah,
it's meant to make you laugh, to make you go, that was funny, to take you away like movies are supposed to do, to take you out of your situation and make you laugh, enjoy. This was that. But this also shined a light on things.
Yeah, but it did it in just such a clever way.
Great way that's why it's a freaking classic.
It's heavy but subtle at the same time. You have to have some intelligence to get
your point across.
some of the,
But to do it to where it's hidden in comedy, you do it so good, with intelligence that it's in comedy, but it's hidden in there so it sits. And you even though you tell it, how old is this movie? How old is it? I'm 48. That's what, 74. So 40, I forget what, I actually forgot when it was done. I said it earlier. 48. It's been sitting there and we're still talking about it. And Naked Gun's great. You can watch it, whatever. But this movie here, it still has some of the best stuff in it that you still bring up and still say. And
very relevant.
Yes, and it stays relevant. Everything it does.
Yeah. Even the treatment, like we talked about in our last episode, we were talking about women, and this one really even highlights the mistreatment of women's suffrage and
oh, what was that? We're gonna go into town. We're just gonna beat the shit out of everybody. Yeah. You gonna let all the women go? Well, shit, no, we're gonna rape the shit out of them down at this. I was like, God damn, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
Where I had my phone down and I was like, I remember that one. Yeah.
You're like, what? Fuck? What?
Yeah, I was like,
What the fuck are we?
No, hell no. We're going to rape the shit out of that. I was like, I forgot that part. Then I looked up. I was looking down trying to write something. I looked up and went, that's rough.
They did cut out a scene from all, it's cut completely out. You could probably find it if you have like an original DVD cut or something. I don't go that far, or VHS or whatever. You could probably would be still in there. But if you notice a few times in this movie, there were some kind of abrupt cuts. There were like some fades that were meant, but there were some kind of abrupt cuts to black, and then you go to the next scene. And one of those is when Mongo opens the box and it blows up in his face.
Yeah.
He actually
was it blackface after?
It was the old character blackface with.
Well, that was because of Looney Tunes or cartoons back.
Yeah.
When you blow it, it would do your hair.
Yeah, they would
like
hair.
It was like the like African.
Twist. It would do hair. They would
twist
hair in black twist,
and they put either bow out or bones on there or something.
Bones on it. And they would black.
And
they would be black face. And then they would always make their lips red.
Oh yeah,
awful.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. It would. Your lips were predominant, just protruding predominant, because it was the black didn't touch your lips, so it was just your face black and then just out.
So that
looked like a Kardashian
thing, and they've cut that out of the broadcast version completely.
See that?
You can see though
they cut it out.
It's because they cut.
Is that going to be too loud?
Or is it a storm?
No, it's a motorcycle. Is it going to be like? Can you hear it?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It don't matter.
Yeah, I think might cut it out.
Oh, that's right. It cuts Matt out.
And people will be like, "What in the world? What were they talking about?"
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, so they cut out that. And there was a couple other ones I think that they.
Is he really riding that bull or ball? Whatever.
Yeah,
that was meant. The yes no was meant to a 1950s law. What was it? A tax law or something?
No. It's a reference to buses and which side you can pass.
In 1950, thing.
Oh yeah, I noticed the yes no thing. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so that is a reference to passing buses.
I guess also I don't realize some of the stuff.
Well, no, it's old. I've read about it. That's the only reason I've read it.
But I guess some of the stuff doesn't jump off to me because some of the stuff I literally don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of those things of like, there were things too, the same thing. And like, you see it and you go, you just have to Google it and somebody will tell you.
Oh, it's everywhere.
The bull that Mongo rides has yes painted on one side and no painted on the other. This is apparently a reference to the practice in the 1950s of marking the back of school buses for which side was safe to pass on, essentially implying that Mongo and his mount are as big as a bus.
So I love the fact that that he had the women kicking ass and the climax of the film.
Yeah.
Was awesome. That was
by the way, they mentioned Raisinets. That was not product placement. But now the company sends Mel Brooks, and this was back in 1975. Mel Brooks said that they used to send him every month a gross of Raisinets.
Hey, Raisinets. I love Raisinets, Mr. Raisinets. Can just go out to somebody doing Raisinets. I also like
Raisinets and popcorn.
Yeah. Oh no, you take M&Ms. Take the peanut M&Ms or the regular M&Ms.
Pieces, bro.
That's
pretty good too.
That
would be damn. I gotta try that because it melts in the hot thing. But my ex-wife, we put M&M, the peanut M&Ms. She started me doing it. She poured the peanut M&Ms in the hot popcorn with the butter, and when you reach in, it's halfway melted, just a little, and you eat it, just melts. That's what I like. I haven't tried the peanut butter. That's next.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
They have so PB Fit, they have a chocolate peanut butter one, like a powder one.
Yeah.
Put that on your popcorn.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Explosion happens.
Like a skinny pop.
That's old cartoons. That's what they look like.
I mean, I make my own popcorn, but
Something
yeah,
blows up on you.
Oh, but yeah,
Like I said, bows or bones immediately.
just plain popcorn.
yeah.
Just a little bit of that PB powder.
Yeah.
Maybe a little salt.
That's another one. That's the thing. It's a shotgun shell blew up on this one, and you can see
Yeah.
those. The old cartoons. No, that's from. I watched these. Like I grew up watching
we
these.
grew up. Now they cut them out.
Oh, they
cut that out.
Yeah, watch it. This right
Cut
here
them out.
was probably
Here's an interesting
one of the most racist Bugs Bunny I have ever watched.
Bugs Bunny was a racist.
Oh, 100%. And I mean, this guy here, the drawing of this, is rough. Let's see the lips and how they
I
did.
think we can put that on social.
No. I'm sorry.
Google Bunny racist and you'll find it.
Or just Google Looney Tunes blackface explosion. Put that in and you'll see everything that I'm looking at.
But luckily they cut all that stuff out, and I don't even understand why people fucking debate and get.
Yeah. Oh, that's history.
I can't believe y'all cut that.
Hey.
Fucking serious?
Hey.
I wouldn't want my kid watching.
I'm glad.
Hey.
I'm actually glad that you've never seen it. I'm glad that you've never seen it.
By the way, you want an interesting little tangent about how much of a badass Mel
They had a
Brooks
lot
is.
of those.
When he was in the army in World War II, he was a bomb diffuser.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. He was a bomb diffuser.
Mel Brooks was a bomb diffuser.
Now he just lets them blow up. Now he just puts it out there to explode because, well, he's put this motherfucking movie here.
I mean, he had to invent the candy telegram for this movie. I'm
He
just
sure did. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved that. So Dom DeLuise, who that's another one. Like I didn't realize. So
I knew he was in it.
I
I fell asleep watching this. I woke right back up after, but I missed his scene. So it's been so long.
There's two things I know about.
He plays,
The director.
yes, it's style. Yeah, when he comes in, that's right. At the
But
end.
that was the funny part to me about why I said that was the forgivable gay slur for me in that instance, because it was a gay man using it with other gay men, and then the way that they handled basically like I love that. Let's get him girls. Fucking I love that. I was like, get them girls. I was like, yeah.
You know who was meant to play the role of the director?
Who's that?
Peter Sellers.
Really?
The one.
Oh my God.
It was originally meant to be played by Peter Sellers, but Mel Brooks endured a 4-hour audition,
Wow.
and he was like, "Nope, we're gonna cast Louise."
Because at least he'll do it in an hour, and we will
He's
be
like,
there all
God,
day.
fucking 4 hours. Ugh.
Yeah, the thing I remember at Dom DeLuise, I remember he was in this one, but like he was mainly, to me, Dom DeLuise is always Burt Reynolds' sidekick.
Yeah. Cannonball Run, everything. Yeah.
Like that was his,
Um,
and they were so good together.
Yeah. So was Jerry Reed and
Yeah,
Burt Reynolds. Those two separate partnerships. Those were probably the best. The Cannonball Runs were amazing.
Why the fuck did I make a James Dean note in the middle of?
You're still thinking about him.
I literally put James Dean beneath Dom DeLuise, and now I have no clue why.
See, that's what happens when you take shorthand notes on paper, because you're from the 19th century.
Hey, it's digging me too. Don't feel bad. It was shots fired. I caught a stray. It was in you. I caught the stray. So I don't feel bad.
I think it ricocheted.
It might have because I caught it.
So we were talking about Madeline Kahn earlier, and we talked about, in the previous episode, how Natalie Wood was like, now do I get the part?
Yeah.
So Madeline Kahn's audition was really funny too, because when she walks in, he's like, hey, I kind of need to like see your legs. Mel Brooks asked her to like pull up her skirt, and she was really hesitant because she was like, what is your intention? Like, are we about to get into a Harvey Weinstein situation? What are we doing here?
Man.
And Brooks was like, no. Listen, I'm happily married. I just want to see if you have legs good enough to approximate Marlene Dietrich's famous gams. And she was like, apparently she walked in, she was like, oh, so it's that kind of audition. And he said, no, I'm happily married. It's not that at all. we're doing a takeoff in Westerns. And if you've ever seen Death Street Rides Again, there's a scene where, you know, she straddles a chair and we're trying to match that. So if you can do that, he doesn't even get through her sentence. He's like, oh, I'm game for that. So she whips out a chair, hikes her skirt up, straddles the chair.
And then she say, no touch.
And she says, no touching. Yeah. And he was like, I mean, like an exact match of the shot. He goes, I nearly fainted.
Man, she was,
Let me slip into something more.
she nice. She built nicely.
Yeah.
When she said, let me send you something more comfortable or whatever. Thing comes out and I was like, geez.
Well, and if you've ever seen Young Frankenstein, there's a lot of where he comes up to the door and he's like, nice knockers. And she goes, sink you them.
Have we done that one? We've done that one.
No, it's not on the list.
Oh, God. It's going on the list. I love that movie. That's one of my favorites.
I think Carrie adds like 15 a week.
I try. I want to keep.
We're always like, hey, let's add 2 new.
I can't do the themes. But I'll add new fucking movies.
Yeah, we don't do themes anymore, but like, it's like,
Well, we can kind of do a little bit.
Well, you asked the same with the 2, whatever.
No, he's talking about different. Like he talking about.
Oh no. Yeah, no, that's old. That's ancient. That's old.
yeah. But I was saying, like, it's funny because he's like, every week he'll like hit our group text up with like, hey,
I sure do.
Here's the link.
I'm trying to keep it going and keep everything as long as we can keep going with it. We'll see how it goes.
I think he's trying to skew the algorithm to
Toward me. Yeah. Well, 100%, because I like watching my shit.
It's not an algorithm, though.
It's a spin of the thing that lands on Hannah's shit all the time.
For a hot second, I mean, I'm always a pedant, but like, I'm gonna be pedantic. It's not an algorithm.
So, are you so? Oh yeah, I read a few things that like that.
Actually,
Ooh.
no, I take that back. It is an algorithm because computers are not capable of random number generation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you spin it, it's based off of an algorithm.
Artists reflect our.
Feeling okay? Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
It's safe for all women.
Oh, I thought that was
I didn't hear
there.
There's nothing above us.
Oh,
Above us is the roof.
He's probably beating the wall or something.
He's the mystery bouncing ball.
He's found
auditions
something.
the other night.
He's found something in there.
Law and Order style.
Okay.
Oh my God, he did that to me when he was a kid. When I left one time, and I swear to God, this is on my Facebook somewhere. He sat me down and he took one of those lamps, like one of the lamp things. I was sitting down and he threw the lamp in my face and started.
Yeah.
He was like 6 and he started going, "Where were you?" And I was like, "Excuse me, have you been watching fucking Law and Order? Where did this come from?" Like,
And then you went, I should get him in classes.
yeah.
He's going to follow you. He'll be the one that follows you.
I will say though. Sorry, were you gonna say
No, nothing. I was gonna go with the thought I had, so it doesn't. It's.
I mean, we give a lot of credence to Madeline Kahn's character. She has a lot of agency. She owns her agency.
That damn secretary, though. Ooh, anyway, sorry.
And that's actually where I'm going. Madeline Kahn has a ton of agency in this. I mean, right down to the number of "I'm tired," which, by the way, that light bursting was accidental. It was not scripted. When he threw down his gun, it was accidental, and when it hits the light, it's accidental.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out.
Yeah, for real. She has a lot of agency. She owns a lot of her agency, especially over her work. She does some of it at the behest, but she does some of it at the behest of Headley, but she turns down some of those rules. She has a lot of agency in herself, unlike the secretary Stein, who's, by the way, Playboy model Robin Hilton.
Yes.
But she's literally just on screen so that he can ogle her, and she's in this lingerie for what reason? Please tell me, because I have no idea why she's in
The corruption.
lingerie other than
He's showing corruption in the government. Yeah.
I guess I
No, that's what it is.
I think that's a stretch.
It is. But that's what, I mean, but besides him using his power to, well, he doesn't even know the governor's a fucking idiot. It's Headley that's doing everything. So that assistant governor corruption part is what he's trying to show, but also that the people in charge are basically morons.
Yeah.
When you have, let's say it's like, what was it? Julius Caesar said, "I'd rather have a fat man under me than a skinny man, because a fat man can be filled, a skinny man will always be hungry." So I think it's Julius Caesar said that. I'm paraphrasing.
No,
was
it's Crassus.
Crassus. So
I think I'm like 90%
I'm
sure.
trying to remember.
And it's he says you can always see a hungry man. You can always see the hunger in the thin man's eyes.
Yeah. So I think that's where he was going, was that you have these morons, but you have someone there that's gonna push and try to take advantage of the
Right.
situation. And the people in charge are mostly just clueless idiots, but they do know what they're doing. I'm not taking away from it, but that's what he's saying with this character and
I
taking advantage.
that is one thing I will. Like I hate when I have to say this.
Say it. I gotta pee.
It's one of the things that I agreed with Hannah on this, is that that's one of the characters I kind of looked at and went,
Yeah, it was
had to try, because his yellow face with the chief was real easy to go.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, you need to drop that. But I looked at that too because I had a problem with.
Well, there's no need for the.
And I was like going like, okay, what is it that you're trying to be satirical about here?
Because you could have had the governor. Is it governor?
Yeah.
You could have had him, Headley, wiring him. He could have never even been there.
Yeah.
It could have just. It still would have been funny.
Yeah.
They just put him in there to silly, make it. Oh, how you do all this shit? Hello, boys. All this shit. He was doing that just to add something to the movie. The governor didn't even be there. He could have wired him and said, "Yeah, go ahead and do whatever you're going to do,"
Right.
and then just keep being. So I think it was just thrown into. But that's what I think that's what he's trying to show is the.
So we were both wrong. It's actually, so I guess technically you're kind of right, because it is Caesar,
Yeah.
but it's William Shakespeare writing Julius Caesar.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I knew it was Shakespeare, but I was pulling Julius Caesar from because I remember reading it.
So I want to just read a few.
Yes, I've read Shakespeare.
As kind of we wrap.
Yeah, because I got to pee.
Are we talking about that? There's just a few quotes of things that were like, or kind of paraphrases of things that I read that I thought were interesting when we talk about this film that I think everybody needs to kind of keep in mind. And these are from people like Whoopi Goldberg and Mel Brooks' own things that he said, and just some of the things that people have said to kind of say like, because there's two camps three camps for this film. There's people that understand what it is and appreciate all the satirical nature of it and all of that, and understand exactly how it was meant to be. And I feel like we kind of all fall into that camp and understand what it is, and even that it has some issues, but that the issues aren't as glaring as others. And then there's people that just out and out decry this as a racist, terrible, outdated movie. And then the other camp is the people that love it, but they love it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. They put it out. It's not to be taken serious, but it is to be taken serious because you have the different.
Well, so here's a couple of things to just keep in mind about it is, that somebody said that missing from a lot of the revisionist critiques are the awareness that the filmmakers are making satire. A lot of people don't understand that. That what Mel Brooks was doing was he was using, and that you do this as artists, you can use ugly words in helpful ways to educate, and that artists we as artists sometimes what we're there to do is reflect humanity's worst selves back onto us, because we don't see
you can see it in other people, you can't see it in yourself.
But when you see it on you
can point it out 100%.
You go, because let's not even talk about racism. No. Let's talk about how many times something has really connected to you on a screen. A character's done something that you thought was unique to you as a human experience, but here it's being portrayed, and that's another reason why it's important, and inclusion is important. You see it portrayed on screen, and it reflects back to you, and you connect for whatever reason, and you A, don't feel as alone. B, there's all kinds of things. So,
and even when you watch movies, because of the way it reflects. Because everyone's born with a sense of right or wrong. Now that can be corrupted over race.
I would argue that that's not always the case, especially when you get people that are like sociopathic.
Well, yeah, no, that's different. 100%. I agree with that, because there are,
I think
cracks in the mainframe.
Morality is relative.
But you do. But yeah, you still have. I think, I don't know. I still believe generally people are born with I know this will hurt somebody, this won't hurt somebody. Because you can gauge the reaction. You say something to someone and you see their face. From then on, you can, that right there, I shouldn't say that, I shouldn't do that. So you can get to the point, but even it's the small things, that a bigger thing's definitely going to hurt. So I think, I don't know where I was going with this now. I lost you, got me sidetracked. What was I talking about?
No idea.
Oh, but when you look onto the screen,
yeah,
you can say that's a bad guy.
Right.
It's a good guy,
right,
because they are mirrored back, and you know the difference between what it is.
Choose to be the bad guy.
Be the good guy.
But here's the difference about playing a bad guy heavy-handed, and we have this conversation in classes a lot, is you can't play a bad guy who knows they're a bad guy.
No.
Because a bad guy doesn't ever know they're a bad guy.
You're the hero of your own story.
Yeah. They never think they're bad. They always think they're right. They always think they're the hero.
That's the mark. Like with The Walking Dead, I know a lot of people don't watch it, but when you watch Negan and you watch Rick go against each other, if you looked at it totally different and see Negan's point of view, he's the good guy.
Yeah.
So but they played it so well that that's the way it looked. You definitely could do it.
And they did it in this movie too.
Yes, and you have to play it that way. So it really is shows it.
One of the other things that I thought was kind of interesting too, when you think about it, is that like when we talk about these reflections and things, that we have to understand that insensitive attitudes exist, and to deny that in historical fiction, to take it out, is actually, that's whitewashing. When you take out the insensitive attitudes from historical fiction, that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't do it, because that's what they used to do. That's the whole thing. That was the point of, Mel Brooks doing the Westerns. He's like, they whitewashed the Westerns by taking out all the insensitive attitudes and acting like they didn't exist.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You're not being true if that happens, but you have to do it in a way that is historical in context and not exploitive in nature. It has to be done as an education, and not just for the sake of being able to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, let me do this.
Or shock value or whatever.
Shock value, exactly, of the thing.
Yeah, you want to portray,
It's a nuance that we lose sometimes, especially in modern day.
Yeah. And one of the things that I also thought was like, you can't, and this goes to the same thing about this, is you can't expose racism without exposing racists.
Yep.
And that means that you have to portray racists to expose racism. And that's what happened in here. And another thing to think about is that we can't, and we certainly don't. And that's, I think it's lost on, I'll keep talking, you just run like the wind, Bullseye. I think, we'll wrap up when you get back. I think that one of the things we talk about, I think one of the things that people don't understand about this podcast, of the complaints that I sometimes get about the podcast from people, is that we
Good listeners?
Yeah, a couple, and they always tell me like, you ruined my favorite film as a child. We're not here to run it. Yeah, we're not here to run it, and we're not. One of the things we all have to understand, we understand that filmmakers that are born in the 1900s that make a film in 1974, there is absolutely no way that they could foresee the future and conform to modern values of inclusiveness and integrity. That's not what we're expecting. We're not saying
Expecting perfect standards.
Yeah, we're just trying to say, like, this is, again, what we do is reflect back these things for us to look at, because if we can look back at these things, we can realize, we cannot repeat the same mistakes that these movies did, that, yes, in the historical context, in the area that they were there to reflect, that, yeah, it wasn't a problem, but you can't make it now, and you can't look at it and say, oh, that doesn't make me uncomfortable. It should make you a little uncomfortable. You can still enjoy parts of films that are, done, but listen, sometimes things just don't age well, and we have to drop them. We have to stop. I mean, at some point you just go, oh, I don't like that anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to have, to remember these films fondly from your childhood or whatever. And all of the things that come along with them, and still be, and still look forward. So it's all about, looking forward. And the other thing, that when you look at this, is that Mel Brooks movies, none of his movies have ever promoted or condoned racism, anti-Semitism, sexism, homophobic, none of that. Like all of that is, so you have to look at it in that context too. And
he doesn't have a history of it.
Yeah, that it's like, because
the intent of it.
yeah, because you could look at some filmmakers and go,
Yeah.
they're doing it to be funny because they know, when you drop a
racial
slur
draws
or
attention, and you might as well,
homophobic slur.
you might as well drop a pin right there because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, remember that part? And that whole movie defines what you're trying to do.
Doing something less than to watch a
Yeah,
catch you. It catches you off guard.
but yeah, those are meant to catch you off guard in the way of like, pay attention.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. When I hear
These
it,
people exist.
because the way they say it in the situations, they say it,
Yeah.
I could never do it. I
Yeah.
couldn't.
Oh, no.
I mean, I could. It'd make me so uncomfortable. But to hear them do it,
Yeah.
I just giggled. I don't know why. It just made me, because it was just like, fuck, because that's the wrong place to use it.
And
that's why.
No, let me tell you it's the racism's not funny,
No.
but the responses
Yeah.
and the ignorance.
Yes.
That's the thing about
That's the best part.
the ignorance is funny.
Yes.
The ignorant and the dialogue is delivered in a way that everything that comes out as racist is just dumb opinion. Like it's like it doesn't make sense. You go, if you just stop and thought about what you just said for 1 second, you'll realize you fit in that boat too, or whatever. Like it's
done so well.
It's
That's
that
the reason.
Yeah,
I thought this was going to be a lot more of a problematic movie, but we actually went through this pretty quick.
It's satire.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the issue.
It's hard to pick apart a movie that's so self-aware that it's picking apart itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, I guess, because like you said, we watched it. I watched it growing up, and you just, because I guess growing up, you hear, like I said, I didn't
You almost become desensitive.
Yeah, you do, because when I went back and listened to the Jeffersons or before, whatever,
Yeah.
was all in on Family. I never realized that was all in there.
Yeah.
And this was 1973, 72, it was 4, 5, somewhere in there, 78. And then when I watched it, I was like, God, I don't remember that. So definitely after watching this movie years later, I was born in 74, so probably 10 years later, probably when I started watching it, because I had to been at least 10, 12, somewhere in there, because, whatever came on TV,
Yeah,
you watched.
yeah,
You watch it with your dad, whatever came on TV.
Right.
So be it that or Manimal. Remember Manimal?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So Airwolf, that was another one. Have you seen? Never mind. So, yeah, I'm off on the thing. But watching that, I was like, I didn't realize, I guess not realizing, and then, like you said, knowing that it picked apart itself, making fun of itself.
Yeah.
Because then when you watched it back then, you just heard the words. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, God, I can't believe you're saying that.
Yeah.
But as you fully watch it, it did. It drove home a lot of stuff that I didn't see before.
How do you want to bring us home?
All right, initial thoughts.
I need to go to the store first. Maybe a Walmart.
Well, my initial thoughts were this. I've obviously seen it. I don't remember seeing the end. It's been so long since I have seen it. The thing, my initial thoughts were, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
And then I watched it, and then it wasn't as tough because I could see. It wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be because I could see what he was doing. And so those were my initial thoughts, and I'll save the rest because I have other kind of initial thoughts to tag onto that, but they fit better with the other questions that we're about to answer. So, Terry?
Yeah, same. I just watching it young. I never even, I wasn't mature enough to realize what they were doing or watching. And where I was raised, there was a lot of racism. You're raised in a small town in Southern. There's a lot of racism. Sometimes, most of the time, not hidden. Because you see a lot of it, and you just go, oh. And I guess at some point, I knew.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, I don't like it, because even when you hear it, you could see. Even watching other TV shows, like it comes on, you could see that it bothered people.
Yeah.
So you knew that it wasn't right. So you just kind of go, oh, okay. So I wasn't mature enough to realize what this movie was doing. Once I got older and started watching it, then I found out why it was really funny.
Yeah.
Why it hit on these marks that made me laugh, and the things that pointed to, and what I was like, these stupid. So after sitting down and watching it again for this purpose, to pick out stuff to watch it, it really got a good deep dive into it and understand it truly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know what to think. I've heard him talk about it before, like, just, have you seen, like, we talk about old movies, have you?
Which is everything. You see old movies? You seen anything post?
I watched the Wheels.
I've seen the Wiggles. I watched the Willow one time.
Actually, Barney was my jam.
Barney was?
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't know what to think, and
I still don't. I still don't know where I'm going with this.
I'll say my final thoughts for what.
Yeah. With your initial, you just didn't know what to think about it.
My whole thought on the movie ties.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
My initial, I mean, I've seen this movie, I don't know how many times at this point. We watched this when I was a kid.
Yeah.
With the full, it's interesting. My parents never really felt the need to sprinkle any exposition on it. We talk about exposition varies. My parents never felt the need to caveat it the same way that HBO did, which I thought was kind of interesting that they threw that on there at the same time with like Gone with the Wind.
Let me check. Can I cut you off 2 seconds?
Yeah. Are you going to talk about the woman who wrote the HBO precursor?
No, I'll let you do that while I talk about I honestly feel like what happened is that people like Gone with the Wind needed it. It is a different style movie.
Oh yeah, it's horrendous.
It needed it, right? And I think that giving it to Blazing Saddles was a direct response to racist people freaking the fuck out about Gone with the Wind getting the content warning. So that was all I was going to say. I remember just kind of looking at I saw the thing about HBO.
So you think it was done in not understanding, or they did it out of response?
They did it Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, but they did it out of response to it.
Well, if you're going to do it Gone with the Wind,
you do it to this
style too. Like,
yeah,
fuckers.
So out of response to going, I love my Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
So we're going to pick some made by a Jewish guy, and then we're going to fuck y'all. Let's do this one too. So I got it.
Listen, anecdotal, but I'm just saying.
I mean,
so tell us about the woman who wrote the content warning.
So the woman who wrote the content warning, her last name is Stewart. I have it in my sources. If you're curious, I would highly recommend you go back and read it. And she makes clear that anything racist in the film is very much the point.
Right.
And she says that all offensive material is explicitly stated by the characters portrayed as narrow-minded, ignorant bigots. This movie is an overt and audacious spoof on classic Western films. It's as provocative today as it was when it premiered back in 1974. As the storyline implies, the issue of race is front and center in Blazing Saddles, and racist language and attitudes pervade the film. But those attitudes are espoused by characters who are portrayed here as explicitly small-minded, ignorant bigots. The real and much more enlightened perspective is provided by the main characters, played by Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder.
Yeah, I think that's a great summation of the film. Exactly, of dumb people are racist and smart people are in the know and understand
it.
Friendship doesn't have color, and relationships can be forged. I mean, listen, if the four of us, we don't seem like it on the surface. If people just walked in and looked, we're not diverse, right? We're all of white pigmentation, but we're very diverse in our upbringings, in our ages, and our experiences, and we are all friends with each other. And we all have friends in our groups who are not like any of us that are in this room either. So,
and I'd like to clarify too, like, it's not in spite of those differences, it's because of those differences that we're friends.
Yeah.
Like, it's not those different silos that we're placed in, like, it has no bearing.
Right.
It's the same as the opening of the scene where it's like we acknowledge them from the start and then we move on.
Yeah. And we all learn and grow from one another. I mean, I would credit you to a lot of my growth, but you've done the same. I've taught you things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And helped shape your perspective on things in the way that you've helped, shape my perspective. And there's things that we've kind of met on the middle on, and there's things that you've come to my side, and there's things that I've totally come to your side. After 40 years of feeling one thing, I'll suddenly go, oh my God, I get it.
Yeah.
Unfucking housed. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. Like those kind of things.
Well, and I think it's, we see these differences, I'd like to point back to an earlier episode where we were talking about catcalling, and I had told Matt that I've been followed on my runs before, and I will never forget the look on his face. You know, I mean, he was mortified and horrified, and rightfully so. But I think it's one of those things where it's like we peel back that veil for a hot second and you get to see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what forces us all to grow. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. This movie is uncomfortable. It's meant to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's when we peel that veil back that we can confront that uncomfortableness, and that's when growth occurs.
Yeah, absolutely. What's our next?
Did you have something that you wanted to add?
I was just sitting up just in case I said something. I didn't want it to be missed.
You didn't want the AI to edit you out? Well, you sat up at a moment when I was talking about our interaction, so I didn't know if you had something to add.
Yeah.
Or you do like I
Pull it, yeah.
That hurts my back, though, Leno.
No, it doesn't. You got to come closer. A little bit, but I mean, like, you could say, like, I'm like, because sometimes I do this, just follow it.
Yeah.
Like, you just,
Yeah.
I mean, God, just do something.
So anyway.
Bechdel test does not. Is it diverse? Yeah.
Yeah. Very diverse. Yeah.
Are there any problematic characters that need to be changed and or removed?
Yeah. Two that I can think of.
I think, if you put clothes on the secretary,
Yeah.
take Mel Brooks out of Yellowface.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the two that bother me too. I think the woman, you could lose her altogether or give her something.
Yeah.
Or a little more agency.
You could lose the governor.
Yeah.
Honestly, but it was just me thinking about it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Because Headley,
Headley. It's Headley.
I was, and again, because it's been so long since I saw it, I was confused that he was the attorney general. I got it, but like it took me a second because I was like, wait. I thought he was the gut. Wait,
Yeah.
I thought he was the governor. You could have, you could have made him governor. You could have just made him the
master.
Yeah, you could have just made him the governor, and that would have been the
And that would have covered whatever.
everything.
Because he was the whole
But
shebang bang.
but I did like there was the great bit.
How do you get a huff out of that guy?
But you'd have missed a great bit where Mel Brooks puts Cleavon Little up on his shoulder and says, did you know that guy was in there? Starts the racial slur, but he doesn't finish it. And then he goes back and sorry, I made a mistake. And he goes back and grabs Headley and he says it, but he doesn't finish it again. And it's like, but that goes back to the thing of him basically telling Rich Brad, I'm not going to say that word. I can't say that word. And Rich Brad said, yeah, you can't say it, but the bad guys can.
Somebody made a really interesting point about Richard Pryor's internal growth because he, was very much at the forefront of reclaiming that word.
He was one of the first.
And then he went to Africa and he was like, I can't say this anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's a really interesting confrontation because, in our current culture today, there is a definite reclamation of it. And I think I don't know that it necessarily, I'm sure it started with Richard Pryor, but I think you get a lot more of it as NWA comes on the scene and they really reclaim it. And it starts getting used in modern stream culture or mainstream culture. And, but I think it's interesting that somebody made that point of like, is it time for us to also move past this reclamation? None of us in this room are qualified to say that. But
I'm trying to bring it back.
It was an interesting thought where I was like, if the modern progenitor of this reclamation movement has that moment of growth where he's like, I don't want to do this anymore and I can't do this anymore but I think it's one of those things where it's very much unique to the American experience. And I don't think that you can separate that. I think there's a history of that term, obviously very bad history of that term, a very negative history of that term. And it reminds me, actually, it's one of my best friends. She is married to a trauma surgeon who is from Canada, and he is Nigerian. His family is Nigerian. His parents were born there, and then they emigrated to Canada, to Toronto. And he works in Delaware, and Delaware is obviously very white. And he was in a hospital, and he had a guy that came in with a GSW, gunshot wound. And the guy called him the N-word. He was like, I can't have a doctor working on me, a blank doctor working on me. To Toba. And
holy shit.
And Toba was, to his great credit, was like, well, I do no harm. I'm still going to fucking work on you because you're going to die without me, you motherfucker. But I remember Azari telling me like how shaken he was because it was the first time that he'd ever been called that, because it wasn't prevalent in his parents' culture.
Right.
And it wasn't really prevalent in the Toronto culture that he grew up in, because he was surrounded by other first-gen Nigerian immigrants. Yeah, and educated too, and people who didn't have that kind of bias. And she said he was really shaken by it.
Imagine.
Like, really shaken by
First
it.
time you hear that, like, what was the guy? There was a oh my God, I'm trying to think of the one where it was Chappelle, I think, that said the thing about where he was in the meeting with the executive and said something along the lines of like, well, it's a good thing that it's a good thing because I'm not the N-word, or whatever. The guy said something, and there's something to that where he said, I got to find that quote that was great, and it kind of reminds me of that, of like call him and he's like, well, it's a good thing because that's not what I am.
Yeah.
So what's where Bechtel, we did that.
Yeah. Make it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, are there any stereotypes? Yes, but they're meant to be there.
Yeah.
Stereotypes.
Yes.
There.
Yeah. With the exception of the two that we talked about. Yeah. Those got to go, or the woman has to be given something else.
Well, it's so relevant. There's no reason to do it.
What's that, Terry? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. No, I was looking at something else. No need to remake it. It's relevant enough. You don't have to do it again.
It's modern, right?
I mean, you don't have to remake it to put it up.
Yeah.
And it still fits. And so if you want to watch it, go find it. It's free. You can watch it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it better.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it better than Mel Brooks.
And that's the
I sent you the
that's the important part too, that when we talk about that too, is like people say you get all these fucking people that went, we couldn't make this movie again. Like, yeah, you could.
You can make any movie you want.
Well, if you can be as clever as Mel Brooks was, and if you can
change the times,
and change the times, and make sure that it's fucking 100% satirical, and that you don't ever, because I think that's also the problem, is people think, oh, I can do this, I can make it satire and it'll be okay.
Mm.
No, because you're not using satire to educate. You're using satire to make people to make light.
Mm.
He's not making light of any of the isms in this.
Yeah,
it's so wouldn't remake it, but I do feel like the right filmmaker could update something. Not this one, not this, but I think somebody could come along and probably do something that opens the eyes of people. In a way that this film has done for the last 40 years, almost 50 years. This thing is
I was reading this, and I highly recommend you guys go back and read it, called After Lives of Slavery. It'll be in the source notes as a source. But they talk about how not only does this book, did I mention that the name of the article is After Lives of Slavery? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So the audience
source notes.
Really not likely to consider the harsh lives led by Black Americans after abolition.
Yeah.
And this presents like a huge spotlight on it. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the few works that's related to that topic that is kind of cut into bite-sized pieces that makes it easy to digest. Mm-hmm. Is it still tough? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's not meant to be, sanitized. But he also presents this really, he confronts this historic tendency. We talk about whitewashing, but we have a tendency to forget that we have a tendency to forget marginalized peoples for reasons other than their activism. And he's literally just showing us Black people.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the sake of showing us Black people without presenting that their contributions. These are fucking people. They're not meant to be mnemosenic of their cultural importance and relevance.
And let's just say that the entire backbone and infrastructure of this fucking country from its inception to today has been made on the backs of poor and brown and Black and other people of color. Like it's not, because I throw the poor in there too, because there have been poor. I mean, it's poor white people. That's just as much shit.
Well, but that's the first thing that they point to.
Yeah.
When they're like, "Oh, we don't have white privilege because we grew up poor."
Exactly. It's like, but you still do.
Yes.
It's just a different type of.
Yes.
Yeah. We understand you can have privilege without taking away your struggle. When nobody's trying to take away your struggle, we understand every person has struggle. Some struggles are just greater than others because there are other obstacles for other people. That's all that's saying. But the thing is, and that's what they kind of show with the railroad thing of like, there's only a certain number of jobs that poor, undereducated people can get, especially poor, undereducated people in the 1890s. I mean, like there were very few opportunities for people of color and immigrants of all kinds. I mean, that's why the joke, they talk about the Irish, but I mean, like it was the Irish and the Asians and the blacks were working alongside each other for a very long time in some of these industries.
Because we historically have this habit of moving. I mean, we do the same thing with dogs, to be honest with you. Not that I'm comparing humans to dogs, but like we have this history of like moving from one marginalized group to the next.
Yeah.
You know, we start with blacks and then maybe we move to Latinos and then we move, to Asians and then we move to Jews and then we move to poor people.
Right.
We just keep pulling
the Irish, the Italians.
The Italians, yeah. We just keep on moving on to like this new group, and like, we point to laziness. We point to, and I don't know if anybody else caught this. There was a really nuanced little moment of they point to the sexual aggression of and over sexualization, if we're honest, of black people, where the white woman faints when he says, "Let me whip this out," and she faints.
Yes,
he's going, "Hello,
yeah,
we can't keep doing this." We're having to confront these public attitudes and these environmental factors that are these damaging stereotypes.
Yes.
Was pointing out the stupidity of fear of a culture. The fear of a culture.
Of culture.
You're afraid of
the fear of the unknown.
It is. But all you have to do is take time to know it and learn, and then don't be ignorant about it.
It's like we were watching the fights last night. Mm-hmm. And Rachmaninoff came in and wearing the Kakistan hat I fucking love that shit. I love like learning about that. Mm-hmm. One of them, yeah. And those are like very
which that was probably the wrong person, but
right. But I was telling him, I was like, they have they play a game that's essentially to simplify it, it's dead goat polo, and it's fucking amazing. There's a Netflix documentary about it, but you're like,
really?
Yeah, it's a whole thing about sport. It's a Netflix documentary about sport.
Is it the head they're using or something?
It's actually headless. The goat's headless, and they pick it up on horseback and then they toss it into these big cauldrons and you score points, and then you got to get the goat out, and like you're like going up against each other, and just fascinating. It's a huge sport in those kind of Asian countries that are like of Russian influence.
Turkish oil wrestling.
The I guess that would be Turco countries. Is that what that's called?
Maybe Holy Roman Empire. Like, are you talking about like that kind of?
I'm just talking about Kakistan, Uzbekistan, they're Asian. They're from Asian descent, but they have a lot of Russian influence because they're
wakey, hands off snaky.
Anyway, so. If you learn about other cultures, you'll find you'll learn some really fucking awesome
things in
shit.
common.
And also learn have things in common.
Not only things that you're like, wow, that's cool, but you'll find stuff in common. You can learn something from everyone out there.
Yeah.
Someone you don't know. You can learn from anything from it's stupid to cut people out because of your prejudices or your fear.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So stop being afraid, people.
Yeah. Fucking get out.
Get out and talk to people. Shit.
Back on track.
If they got a knife, walk away.
True.
Or pick it up and stab them.
No, just walk away.
Out their ear.
No, just walk away. No stabby. We don't promote violence.
Oh, wait. That was Rebel.
Sorry. Different movie.
Saddles. All right.
That was last week.
Back on track. I know we all said like we wouldn't remake Mel Brooks. Actually, he wants to turn Blazing Saddles into a musical like he did with Young
I go watch it.
Frankenstein.
I go watch
that. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So he first did Young Frankenstein, but he wants to.
He just released History of the World 2, the second part.
Yes.
I gotta watch it.
Me too. What I love about him too is like I love.
He's old.
It's like 90.
Wow. Have you seen him? He looks like an old turtle
Yeah.
without a shell.
Carl Reiner, which is just passed. I think didn't Carl Reiner just pass?
It was not too long ago, but a year.
But like those two, because they were thick as thieves.
Yes.
Because Rob Reiner talks about going over to Mel Brooks' house when he was a kid and just how insane
Died
Carl.
3 years ago.
Okay, it was recent, is it? Carl and
You know, I just realized.
what's that?
So Carl Reiner is the same height that Mel Brooks said that he wanted to be remembered as,
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
which is 6'2".
Yeah, Carl Reiner and him, like they were thick as thieves, man, and and Rob Reiner tells great stories. But anyway, that would be great. A musical would be fantastic. What's up next?
Final thoughts.
Well, listen, I think we kind of covered
everything.
my final thoughts were the fact that I was glad to go back and rewatch this in the lens because I actually appreciate it more and appreciate Mel Brooks more. And now I want to go back. I've seen all his films. I've seen all his films.
Yeah.
But now I want to go back and watch them again because I was not near as intelligent as I needed to be when I watched his films the first time.
Yeah.
I know I missed thousands of things in his
He's really
stuff.
reference heavy. I mean, we talk about who was the director that we were talking about that like had little bits of everything. Super heavy. This is gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, let's just move right on to
Yeah, so that's my my father is like I was glad to see this.
Yeah. It's been so long since I've seen it I've watched it over the years. But it still stands out to me as one of the funniest movies. And it's just because of like I said, the ignorance.
Yeah, you left the ignorance.
Just the ignorance, not the racism. I don't do that. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Landis. So, but it's still one of the makes me laugh and think and makes you aware.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's really good. I don't know what young blood over here,
Matthew?
so uncomfortable. It's like he said at the end of the night, his butthole was chapped because it stayed puckered all night. That's how bad it was.
So my final thoughts.
Put it hole in there.
Now I gotta go back and rewatch.
I understand. I mean, I understand why it was made to show how stupid these people are.
Society, just in general.
And
Maybe this is just like a word of advice. Maybe try watching it on something other than a phone that you have sitting next to you on an armchair. I don't know.
And with you.
Now we know why he doesn't speak.
Yes,
He's like
because he doesn't watch the movie.
he's
He
still watching the movie as we're doing.
Yeah,
He's got an ear pod.
Yeah, it's not even. Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That's what you're doing, just listening to your earphones all the time. Oh, he just said that.
Yeah.
What you said.
Oh.
I see what you're saying.
Oh, that's what I didn't know what his name was.
well, look, I'm just bad with names and movies, but
Yeah,
overall,
that's it. Overall,
Fucking enlightening, man.
I'm gonna tell you right.
I am. Listen, I just want to take a little slice of that and just put it off to the side, and it'd be awesome.
Overall, yeah,
For sure. I think I would.
yeah.
Hannah, maybe you could do a little better.
I mean, there's nothing that we haven't already said about this movie, but I mean, I just love it. I think it's anthemic.
Yeah.
I think it's a slice of life. It's anthemic. It's both anachronistic and non-anachronistic at the same time.
I can't spell either.
Wouldn't it be wonderful in another 50 years for people to watch it? It's not going to happen, but wouldn't it be wonderful in another 50 years for people to watch it and go, wow, we can't believe it.
Yeah, they used to be like that.
Feel like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what we.
That would be something. Never going to happen.
But that's the goal. That's
That's what we did with Rebel Without a Cause. We looked back at it and went,
until we get to the point where we're all made of light being.
Yeah.
There's no fucking color in anybody except for white or yellow.
Let's hope we're not white or yellow. Let's hope if we're a light being that we're a really dark light being.
Okay.
Be stuff
Whichever.
the white people that.
Yeah, you can take whatever. I think at that point when you got there, I don't really nobody gives a shit what color you are because the light is a light, but everybody's the same.
Yeah.
And if we can or you clone, everybody else dies off in the same fucking clone, same color, same whatever. The only reason we'll get there.
I don't know. Humans will find a way to fuck.
Yeah, they'll fuck it up somehow.
Be like, I think you have one less.
Yeah, look at
My AI tells me you have one less hair than me.
Yeah, you're different.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got 3 balls. I got 2.
Let's.
You're done.
I'm gonna. Well, no, I'm not gonna talk about.
Well, anyway, so until we get to that point where that is not that whole fuck, you're different than me.
Yeah.
I fucking can't be around it. Whatever. Until that's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
I think honestly, it's until because I know I've talked to Garrett about the Wittgenstein's beetle thing of like being able to see into another person's brain. I think until we could do that.
Oh, good luck with that. You go fucking nuts and
People that married 56, 78, 60,
I mean, that's
60 years, they're still a part of that other person they don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like to keep the part away from everybody.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to know.
No, you don't. You do not want to know what's in mine. Because I wake up crying. I wake up crying sometimes. So you don't want to go in there.
Makes me sad, bud.
No. You don't want to go.
What's your
deep in that.
blockbuster third?
So
Like,
my blockbuster third is A Touch of Evil
You're
because,
going to have to explain that again.
well, I'll tell you what, we'll listen to the R3. Did you
Okay.
figure yours out?
I think I have
All right. So I'll do.
Are we doing the movie thing again?
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah. I'll do mine. Hannah will do hers. Matt, hopefully by then we'll figure it out. And then you can wrap it up. Mine's A Touch of Evil. And this is the reason.
What's a touch of evil?
Give me a second.
Okay, sorry.
I'm working
Sorry.
that way.
Jumping the gun. Sorry.
I chose that for a couple of reasons. It was funny because there's two actors in here. That Jim Backus, known for Thurston Howell on Gilligan's Island, and Higgins from Magnum PI plays Howard Johnson on Blazing Saddles. So I thought you have these two iconic TV
Like orange.
characters, and you also have these. And really, you could throw Alex Garrison in too, because he was a iconic TV character on Webster. He played Webster's dad growing up. But the Touch of Evil, because I thought that both films kind of touch on A Touch of Evil, and both Jim Backus and Hellerman worked with Orson Welles, who we'd cover on the podcast before in A Touch of Evil. So that's
an Orson Welles movie. Touch of Evil.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and they both worked with Orson.
Cool.
So I was kind of bouncing around between two, and I eventually settled on Grease, but the other one for my consideration was Pink Panther, because Peter Sellers was originally considered
Right.
for the role of the director, and also because both of these movies are kind of subversions of the typical kind of macho male
Yeah.
kind of thing, where you kind of get these like really intelligent, suave, maybe a little bit more sensitive and gentle male leads that you get in Cleavon Little.
Yeah.
He uses his brains to outsmart a lot. You see the same thing with James Dean's character. He's very emotional. So I was like, well, maybe I'll go with that. And then I was like, but Rebel Without a Cause, like when you look at it, you expect it to glamorize teenage rebellion
Yeah.
in the same way that Grease does, just kind of maybe without the singing and the dancing. It's
Right.
another angsty greaser classic. It's, very problematic in the same sense that kind of Grease is. But it's a kind of, I mean, we said it's part of the zeitgeist, but it's really a historic pop culture reference, and we get a glimpse into what was acceptable for this. And then the other reason that I picked Grease is because it has a tie to Blazing Saddles, in that it's kind of a satire in a way if you don't take it too seriously. But the other reason is, so the world premiere of Blazing Saddles was at the Pickwick Drive-In Theater in Burbank, which there's also the Pickwick Bull, which is right across from the LA Equestrian Center, which I spent most of my childhood at. The Pickwick Drive-In Theater has since been demolished, but the guests rode in horses for the drive-in premiere of Blazing Saddles, and the Pickwick was also used for a location in Greece. But also that race scene for the Chicky Run is really similar to the run in the Sepulveda Basin, which is like 5 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
That it is used in Greece. So I think it's kind of like that perfect little like wedge in between.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Matthew.
West down the West.
All right.
All right.
Blazing Saddles parody, right?
Mhm.
Like Million West Side.
Yeah. Is that 100% parody for sure? Seth MacFarlane.
Check that off.
One of Garrett's personal heroes, right?
That's your boy.
Fucker.
Fuck you, Seth.
And your vest joke.
Yeah.
You're still salty about that all these years later.
But if you want to give me a role, I'll take it.
Yeah. Right. I have a great voice, Seth. I can do things.
Not I
Couldn't be me.
But anyways, parody. Yeah, whatever. And then he gets bullied in the film. Just how, forget the name.
Jim Stark.
Yeah, gets bullied by
Buzz.
Buzz.
There you go.
Which can we talk about?
Oh, we got Home Alone because
Yeah.
Kevin got bullied by Buzz.
Yep.
Can we talk about what?
I was just gonna say how like stereotypical of a name Buzz is.
Yeah.
For a bully, and it's Toy Story. Toy Story.
Well, Buzz Lightyear,
No, but the bully, isn't it?
Sid.
That's said.
Fuck.
And the only reason that I know that is because one of the kids at our gym, and I call him a kid because he's like 16. His fight moniker is Sid because he literally looks like the kid from Toy Story. Like, and his first day in the gym, no joke, this kid walks in with a buzz cut, braces, and in a rash guard that has a skull and crossbones on it. We were like,
Fine, that is.
"Did you do it on purpose?" He's like, "No." I was like, "I really didn't do it on purpose." His first fight, his first
Hey, look.
junior MMA
Yeah.
fight.
I was gonna say I'm forgiven, but I'm trying to draw it.
It was so. I'm sitting here watching. Like you're talking. I was listening to you, but I'm watching his brain smoke right now.
Yeah, it's going each and every direction, trying to figure something out.
His
Because like I said, Clint Eastwood and all that, I was trying to pull it together with him, but go ahead.
this will give you some more time. I'm gonna vamp for you. His first junior MMA fight, he walks out and old Dynamite Dave Hardy goes, and here is Miles. They call me Sid Putnam.
I actually remember that fight.
Died.
You mentioned it. Like
We died.
yeah, because of the kid. When you said the kid, you said like no.
He's a good kid, but he didn't win.
Just no, I don't got nothing. I was like Quest for the Holy Grail, both parodies, but nothing with Rebel Without a Cause. Doesn't match.
I
Unforgiven.
think it's a zeitgeist kind of thing.
I mean, you could go with that. I
Not
guess. Yeah, I guess we could go with that.
Yeah, there you go.
That made me more think of it. But it's like, guys, thank you. I take it.
Now you know. Now we of course we got to figure out what we're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter each time. Last time I picked another one, but
What did I tell you? I was adding. Oh, we're gonna do the thing, but I'll let you do the thing before we add.
So, here's your question of the week. Yay! If your 5-year-old self suddenly found themselves inhabiting your current body, what would your 5-year-old self do first?
oh shit.
I'll tell you what my dumbass would do. Because I did this when I was 5. Scared the shit out of my dad. You guys remember those little type cars that like you like Fred Flintstone power with like your... All right, so when I was 5, I piled myself into that and promptly tried to, I don't know what my plan was because kid logic, tried to ride down the hill that is our backyard, which is all dirt, by the way, and infested with gopher holes.
Did it flip?
Oh, it sure did flip, and it started rolling down the hill. Our house is cantilevered over this mountaintop that the house is built into. My dad was up on the deck doing something, and he just sees the little tight car go
Your feet,
tipping
top, feet, top.
down this hill. Our backyard's a third of an acre. Tipping down this hill and crashes into the fence down at the bottom.
Oh, thank God for the fence.
And my dad, I think, probably had a heart attack maybe up on that thing because he was sure I was going to be dead. So he starts fucking hauling ass down the hill, right? So he tears down the stairs for the deck. He runs down the backyard. He's like hauling ass down this hill, trying not to trip on the gopher holes. And my fucking little evil Knievel dumbass kicks open the door, pops out, and looks at my dad and goes, "Let's do that again." So I 100% know that my fucking 5-year-old dumbass self would pile into this current injury-infested body that I have and try and do some shit like that.
My thought was
the evil Knievel part has never died.
Oh, really? See, my thought was I would wake up with the 5-year-old self going, "Fuck, does my back hurt?" That would be the first thing. My 5-year-old self would go, "Fuck." 5-year-old self first.
Sucks. They want to go back.
What the fuck? That would be the first thing. Me waking up going, "Ow." Yeah, that would be the first thing. What I would do with myself, probably masturbate. I did like sex at 5. I mean, I liked women. I didn't know what to do with it, but as I got older, so maybe I knew. I was rubbing on things. You know, you get on the mattress and just, you know.
You were early bloomer.
I was real early. I was real early. My cousin was way worse than me. My cousin, my cousin, say back, look, maybe, but he was like, he consummated his stuff. Like, mine was still like 16, somewhere in there. His, I think like 12. Like, he babysitter. But what I would do, I don't know, 5-year-old.
I think.
Yeah. It was something. I'm not gonna name him, but he's got fucking hands. He got a big dick too. I give him that one. But anyway,
I think.
I digest. No, for me, well, no, he
It doesn't make it right though.
didn't make it right, but he was, because I know the babysitter. What would I
So
do
I
at 5?
I think at 5, I probably would. Honestly, at 5, if I was at 5, I'm thinking about like what was into 5.
I can't think of what I
Well, I can tell you, I'd probably go. I would think, and I would make, and then my 5-year-old self would go like, "Well, that was a fucking mistake," for the same reasons that you do.
Yeah.
I would think as 5-year-old, I would get in this mind and be like, "I'm going to the batting cage.
There you go.
I'm gonna fucking just
Crush them.
crush some shit," and then I'd be like, "God damn, why does it hurt when I swing the fucking bat?" That would be like shit. Maybe I should 5-year-old self shouldn't have been 20.
Well, I was, you know what? I was playing T-ball. So yeah, probably I'd be something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was sports minded.
Yeah.
I was young and played basketball.
I started T-ball.
So I would think to myself like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm grown now.
There
I can
was
do some shit."
I was in,
I'm gonna go dunk.
And then
yeah, no, I wouldn't dunk. I can't dunk now. Fuck that. I'll
No, but imagine your 5-year-old self would be like,
5-year-old self.
I mean,
think
I
you
can dunk. Yeah.
yeah. And then I'm in traction. The next,
Yeah.
I
want to go back.
yeah. I want to stop.
Well, I think the most interesting thing would be like if your current self ended up in your
24. Oh, that would be
what do?
I would be like, I'm cool. I got this. And I would figure out, I start investing.
I would never go back.
I would.
God,
God
would you?
damn. I would start all over right now.
You wouldn't be able to reach the pedals.
In kindergarten and
You could
I was going to say,
Yeah.
my mom, kindergarten.
Yeah.
Whatever she said. It ain't kinder. My mom, kindergarten.
I'd want to drive like a sports car or something.
If you went back to your 5-year-old.
no, he's saying at 5. He hasn't answered his 5 to.
Oh.
No, I would do like you. I would go. I would. If I
would
went
fucking
from
never go back if I was
From
happy
old
with
to
my
young.
5-year-old self.
if I went from here to 5, I would go to my parents and be like, "All right, look,
Yes.
we got 2 choices here.
Apple's going to be big.
First one is Microsoft and
Yeah.
Apple. First one is you need to take me to LA right now
Mhm.
because
Yeah, we
about
can
to
start.
fucking crush some shit. Leonardo DiCaprio is about to get his ass blown right the fuck out of the business.
I know what he does.
because I'm gonna be better than him because I got 40 years on him at
Yeah.
this point.
And then I can just keep going.
Yeah, or or I'd be like, I think we probably need to look at getting me into Harvard right now, like now,
Just start. Yeah.
like right now.
If you retain everything.
I think you just
Yeah.
skip all.
And not the mindset.
Yeah,
And the knowledge.
yeah.
Yeah, don't put me in my 50-year-old mind into a 50-year-old body. I mean, a 5-year-old body.
You'd be like Baby Herman from. You would be Baby Herman.
Damn it.
You would be Baby Herman from fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Fuck you. You know, it's me but I don't have any knowledge retained from the future. I just be an old grumpy fucking 5-year-old.
Baby Herman.
The fuck is he looking at me like that? I think he wants to kill me.
He would be Baby Herman.
Yeah.
He'd be smoking the cigar, the whole fucking. Hey, Toots.
The fuck you looking at?
Hey,
Yeah.
come here. Give me some fresh milk.
Yes. I'm telling you, that would be, it would be horrible. And then I'd just be like,
Hey, where's the milkmaid?
yeah, I would. Oh, no. Yeah, but if a 5-year-old self, something sports, I'd be thinking
Yeah.
anything I ever wanted to do. I can't remember at 5. It was,
Like what we? Oh no.
What?
I'm amending my answer. I would go to the fucking amusement park and ride
all the
a
right.
roller coaster that I was too short to ride.
Yep.
That's what I would. Do.
We didn't,
That was 100%.
we didn't go.
Oh my god, I couldn't wait.
I can't ride them. I don't like riding them.
And I couldn't ride them until I was like 20.
We didn't go to
until-
amusement park. I think we didn't do that. I didn't go to amusement park until I was.
What is next?
What you guys gonna add?
Oh, I said mine.
If that's not on
Which one?
the first one.
The voice one. That was 79.
79?
Yeah. 6.
No,
1976.
Yeah, it's 76. I was saying it done.
Google says,
well,
Gaggle. A gaggle of Google. What was the one I said?
I don't
A
know.
while ago? Fuck.
I'm trying to think of
oh, Frankenstein.
No.
I'm at
I
a
said,
funny
Neil?
face.
Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
No.
No, who's funny face?
Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, Audrey Hepburn. Sorry, I don't know what I thought. I think it's something.
She was fine back in the day.
Audrey Hepburn. Ooh, man,
Then we later she got, I know. Perfect hair, short hair.
Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire.
I think
I bet Freda did stare.
you.
What?
Is I think Barbara Streisand. I think it's like, but it's not the one.
That's the what I thought. I didn't hear the funny face, but I would have said Barbara Streisand too.
Funny face.
Did I tell you something yesterday that I was going to add today and forgot already? Is Who Framed Roger Rabbit on there? 1987. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I think it's 87. Somebody double check me.
Maddie.
87,
88.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein. That was the one I said.
Somewhere in there. Maybe it might be
Frankenstein.
88. All right, we'll do it. Just made it. Just made it.
What was the cutoff?
88.
88.
88.
Terry, what's yours?
Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
And he got a 95 like a month.
What year was Young Frankenstein?
Oh, shit.
Why?
It's 70 something. I'm looking at 74.
Okay.
And it's on HBO Max now, bitch. Don't be texting me going, what kind of what is it? You give me done yet? I'm looking at it now. Watch the HBO Max. Thank you.
You ready?
Ready.
Spin the wheel. And it goes to
Oh. So now you know. I don't know about the other one. What was the other one? We can picture.
Harlem Nights.
Yes. That's you.
Oh.
That's yours.
It used to be on HBO Max. I picked it because it was on HBO Max.
Look it up now.
That is from 1989.
Nice.
Let me color code this real quick. Doop, doop, doop.
Nope. You got to rent it right now. I'll find it, but you got to rent it.
Yeah, it used to be on HBO. I hate when they do that.
I know. It's rub them off.
Funny face.
Wow, that was
Yeah,
fast.
see? This motherfucker's fixed. I'm going to tell you right now. It's fixed. It's the algorithm. It's the algorithm leaning toward the operator.
Oh, good. We get another one.
Yeah. Funny face.
And another movie to make Matt feel really uncomfortable with her.
Yeah, man.
But keep an eye.
Oh,
All people of color.
yeah, that. And you got to pay attention because,
Yeah. No, I'm saying like,
yeah. Well, Italians are
black.
Italians are kind of iffy on that. I've seen what was that movie with De Niro and he had the kid and he was dating the African American chick.
I vaguely remember.
And he tells him, and what's his name is the main guy. If she don't reach across and open your door.
Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Chaz Balance.
See, Italians not big on the black.
Are we
folk.
going to talk about Oscars?
Yeah.
I gotta pee.
I remember that too. The thing, like if you open her door
And she doesn't reach
reach
across.
across and unlock your
It ain't worth it.
ain't worth it.
Get rid of her. But all them Italian dudes, they not.
Hey,
not
I'm
big.
gonna tell you something. I've had them reach across and unlock, and they
Still ain't worth it. Don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No. They're reaching over.
And I've had-
What they were doing is reaching
had-
across and reaching in your consoles, seeing what
Yeah.
kind of money you got in there.
Yeah, and I've had them not reach across and been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's that's the most bullshit thing.
No, it is bullshit.
What's bad though is I used to like kind of.
I did too.
That a little bit.
I did too. When I was, yeah.
And then
My grandpa told me that.
Oh no, wait.
It's funny when I saw in the movie because my grandpa, who had said that when I was young, grandma was like, I wrote a movie. I was like, oh man, I guess everybody knows about that.
Yeah.
And I was young when I saw the movie. I was older, but he told me when I was young, she don't reach across there and do that. She don't give a shit about you, and she only thinks about herself. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. Anything else? Is that it?
No, we got to talk about Oscars.
Oscars.
Other than that, we out.
Say excrement.
All right. Well, for Three Sisters and a Girl.
Wait, we talking about the Oscars now? Or we?
No, we'll go off air with it.
Okay, because I got to pee. Good job.
For Three Sisters and a Girl, I'm Garrett Crudo.
I'm Terry J. Nelson.
Hannah Kaufman.
Yay.
Time to pee.
You got to pee. Hey, yo, listen to
Adrian.
Three Sissies and a Girl is hosted by Garrett Crudoff, Hannah Kaufman, Terry Nelson, and Matthew Maniscalco. The show is produced by Garrett Crudoff and Hannah Kaufman and co-produced by Terry Nelson and Matthew Maniscalco. The show is edited by Garrett Crudoff and post-production is supervised by Hannah Kaufman. Our theme music is by Alexander Rufire and is licensed through Envato.
Hey guys, if you like what you hear, follow us on Instagram at 3CG_pod. That's 3CG_POD. Twitter at TCAAG2, or search for us on Facebook at Three Sissies and a Girl.
Listener suggestions, questions, and vitriol can be submitted to our socials or via email to 3sissiesandaGirl@gmail.com. That's the number 3, CISSIESANDAGIRL@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, and be sure to rate and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you like to listen.